short weeks away, and Run Pure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, aka ToeTagginTambo, and we're back, baby. It's week one. I'm excited. It's early, but I'm excited. Got my boys AP and JT Hayes. Bring them in here in a minute. Do us a favor. You know we're going to ask throughout the show. We appreciate all you if you're joining us for the first time or if you're coming back. Either way, hit that like button. Helps us out a ton. Keeps these shows free every Sunday, which they'll be, but it's a lot of fun going through it here. And then hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already seen, we've grown to over 10,000 subscribers. Very excited about that. We've been doing some huge giveaways this week, not $5 tickets for the Millie Maker, more like 333s and that sort of thing. So keep us in your mind. Hit that subscribe button. You get the notifications. All the sports we do shows for, free shows, of course. Hit that like on the way in. AP, we're back, baby. What's going on, man? How you doing on this fine week one early Sunday morning?
Yeah, we are back. The Gatorade is back. It's feeling good. Trying to hydrate, get ready for the day. Man, I'm pumped. I know you guys are pumped. Week one is here. It felt, it seems like it took some time for it to get here, but it's here finally. I got the Chiefs swag on. I feel like my job this week and moving forward is, to keep us dialed in on the Chiefs. Like, I think this week, that's where the money's going to be. And it's my job because I don't know if you heard a lot of the shows this week. There's a lot of Chiefs hate all throughout the week. Big T, JSU, all those guys, love them. They're bashing Mahomes, just bashing this offense. And I think they're going to get it done for us. I think they're coming in a little underrated. And I don't know, Mahomes, I don't know if you guys saw the match back during the summer. He absolutely carried Josh Allen. Yeah. While crushing Coors Lights. That's, my quarterback. That's who I want. That's who I want, my DFS lineups.
I love that call. Well, we're going to talk a lot about that game for sure. JT Hayes, I'll bring you in, man. It's good to see your face. I think the last time I saw you, I've missed you, man, but the last time I saw you was the night out with all the great people at the RPS gathering. And then, of course, our boy DC battling Big Bertha. But what's going on, man? How you doing?
It was a great night, and we've heard a lot about Big Bertha since then. She's kind of taken on a life of her own as an RPS almost symbol. So, but it's good. It's good. I mean, AP hit on one of the things that I've been struggling with here, and that's the ownership on some of these guys on Kansas City. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster's ownership today is going to be ridiculous for a guy who hasn't done anything in about a season. So it's going to be an interesting day. I remember I was thinking back as I'm preparing for this week and preparing for this show to how did I feel at 5:00 last year? And the thing about it is opening day, right? What do we know from last year? Which guys are still going to get the same amounts of targets? We got a lot of new faces in new teams, and the target share, the market share for those guys, it's going to move around. So been looking at the slate that way, focusing on who got the most targets and who is the least impacted during this season. So I think it's going to be great. I'm going to have a great day. Even though I'm going to the Falcons game, I expect them to get absolutely demolished today and almost every game this season. But as AP said, there'll be tasty Coors Lights there, and we'll watch a little football.
And it could be because of the sloppy situation. You could see a nice back and forth, big shootout. We're going to talk about that game. Want to remind everyone very quickly, we're already to the 100 likes pretty much. We're going for 300 plus. Like I said, it's an algorithm game, gets us out there. That's how these shows stay free. We do appreciate it. Lastly, the promo. If you guys don't know, it's ending tomorrow night. So if you're not in at runpuresports.com yet, get over there now. Use promo code NFL15. Last chance. A lot of people have done it. We're not throwing numbers out, but a lot of people have used that code. They're in the Discord. They're getting all sports. And a lot of them got in and were a part, got in early for NFL, got into the MLB chat the other night where shout out and congrats to our boy Big T, taking down the FanDuel World Championship, got the belt season for our boy Big T, who will be up next with the OG crew. Another free show right after this. We got Hoop, we got the man, the legend we talked about, Big T, and then Eric Crane has joined us over here at RPS to get the old OG Morningwood crew back together. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But a lot of members joined, got in on all sports one price, got their MLB lineups in that night, and won anywhere from 20 to 50K, the main tournament, everything. It wasn't just Big T taking down the top prize. So love to see that. Lastly, if you haven't been with us for this show before, quick reminder on what it's all about. It's called Off the Chalk for a reason. We're going to go quickly, position by position, breaking down where the chalk is at, where we think you can get different, ways to build, roster construction, all those things that people have a trouble with out there when they're building their lineups to sort of make those final decisions. So that's going to do it. We're aiming for 300 likes. We're already almost at 150 since this little promo spiel. So I'll give it a break until a little bit here. But AP.
Hey, Tambo, real quick.
Yeah.
You know what the difference was for Big T. Also, huge congrats, Big T. Phenomenal. Checking that out off the list. Incredible stuff. The difference was, and now he's going to be a threat moving forward in these live finals. He took his whole setup there. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Oh,
he strolled there with his computer and all that stuff. He had his full setup going on. So I think that was a difference maker. I've only been to one live final, and I just had the laptop and stuff. It was an absolute disaster last year, week one. So I ended up not playing very much, this first week, and actually it ended up, working out for me. But that, I think, was the difference maker for Big T. So these live finals, man, these people are in trouble moving forward. I think Big T figures something out.
That bankroll that he just added to, already was quite large, and now he gets another $500,000 to put in right before NFL. So it's going to be a big season for RPS. Get with us if you haven't already. We're going to dive in. I was going to say, though, AP, I thought the difference, if he's watching, might have been my text. I told him it's time when he was only at 101 points. And then he ends up going to ship the thing. So maybe it was the Tambo mojo. And then you picked me for the drawing for the 333 ticket. So maybe, and I can't win it, of course. I wanted somebody else to have it, as it should be. And now I'm going to get that luck today. But let's dive in. Let's get into this. Like I said, we're going to go position by position. AP, I'm going to start with you. Quarterback, Jalen Hurts, the cash game quarterback of the week, most likely, but still looking very popular for people using him in tournaments. What are you doing with Jalen Hurts? And then, of course, you talked about like Mahomes, your guy, but Lamar's up there, Kyler's up there, Herbert, some of those guys. Get into that quarterback position for us all.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this throughout the year. I think it's going to be pretty a common theme. Quarterback, usually the ownership on quarterbacks kind of spreads out. So this is one position where it's going to be easy to move off the chalk and get overweight on whoever you want. That could even be Jalen Hurts this week if you want that. I mean, Jalen Hurts going to be the most popular guy. How do you get overweight on him? Get 2 or 3x, get him at 35, 40% if you want. If you do that, you're going to be overweight on him. I got him coming around 15 to 19%. I don't know what you guys are at, but being that he's going to be the most popular quarterback, I am moving off of him in favor of, surprise, Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray. Look, Pat Mahomes, here's where it gets sticky for me, and we're going to dive into the different positions. I do worry about trying to figure out these Mahomes stacks. Like, the problem is there's so many unknowns on this offense, but I feel very confident that we're going to see a lot of touchdowns in this game. And I feel very confident the Chiefs are going to come out and get the win. I think this is a must-win game for them week one, right out of the gate. If you look at their schedule, it's the toughest schedule in the NFL this year. Their division is brutal. they got to come out and make a statement early. I think it's already a must-win game for them. And if you think back to last year, they got off to like such a slow start. So I think Mahomes is going to be highly motivated. I think you're going to see a 4 or 5 touchdown game from him. And I think those touchdowns could come from anyone, like anywhere, like a backup tight end could score. So I'm going to be very careful with how I stack this up. I'm going to have a rule set up where I'm going to be focused on Mahomes +1 or Mahomes +2. And I think I'm really going to limit it to maybe Mahomes doubles. And I'm not going to go any further than that. So I can just mix and match him with different guys. Outside of Mahomes, I love Kyler Murray too. I think this game is going to be a little bit back and forth, so I'm going to be playing him as well. And then I like Lamar. Lamar, when I'm looking at 150, I'm going to be using Lamar +1 playmaker. I think he's going to be another guy who is kind of motivated. I know we were talking before the show. He got his contract done. He got the deal done. And so maybe the motivation factors didn't really matter either way. But the one thing I like about Baltimore here, and especially Lamar Jackson, is they love to beat up on bad teams, and they get to play a bad team today. And when you look at this offense, where's the production going to come from? Probably Lamar Jackson, probably Mark Andrews, and maybe, who knows with the running back situation. So really do like Lamar. And then my kind of, I think JSU is the guy that sold me on him, but Kirk Cousins, mainly because of the weapons that he has around him. I'm going to throw a few Kirk Cousins stacks in, but I'm going to be pretty isolated on Mahomes, Murray, Lamar Jackson, then a sprinkle of Cousins, those 4 quarterbacks today.
Yeah, and of note, AP's just waking up. I was hitting him up before. Did he see about the Lamar Jackson deal? The notes came out, AP, that he didn't sign it. I think you're right. He's still going to be extremely motivated, but it's the deal that he didn't sign.
Oh, okay. I got you. I thought you hit
him. And no, it's good. The chat was on you. The other funny one the chat said is, AP, the Chiefs whisperer, your ear is going to be raspied right off if you're coming here for the whisper. It's every week that he's whispering in your ear.
There's no whisper here.
It's going to be every
literally,
yeah. What I will say, JT, I'm going to flip it to you and get your thoughts on this. Obviously, the Hurts stuff, like AP made a great point. You can just get overweight on all the other guys because he's the only one sort of that's creeped up any at all. And I'm with you, AP. It's sort of that 15 to 20 range, so 17, 16, somewhere in there. But what I do know about you, AP, is you are going to get overweight on Mahomes. And I think if you're going there, that's what you have to do. I'll talk about my takes on that game in a second. JT Hayes, flip it to you for quarterback, man. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Hurts, you look at Mahomes, they're going to be very popular. And I'm fine with both. I'm going to have some of both. I differ a little bit on the Mahomes +1, Mahomes +2. Travis Kelce, I think is going to come in much higher owned than he's projected. And AP talked about Mark Andrews, the perfect pivot there. Andrews projected under 10% ownership. But staying with quarterback, I think you look at that game, that there are 2 games really. One, the Jalen Hurts game. I mean, everyone's talking about the Philadelphia Eagles defense, but this is a pace-up game, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes over. I'm not going to play a lot of Jared Goff, but I do like the receivers in that game. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is not going to be impacted by anybody coming in. He was a target monster last year. I think you might see him get double-digit targets today as well. And then the game out west with Herbert and Carr, I like that matchup a lot. And I think that's one where, I mean, you do have to be careful, I believe, on the Vegas side, because, I mean, people see Devontae Adams. Do you think that Hunter Renfrow is not going to get any targets? You think Darren Waller is not going to get any targets? So I think by maybe going with Carr and 1, I think is a good way to go, and maybe having it not be Devontae Adams, because I don't think many people are going to play Hunter Renfrow, and I think that connection is still very strong. And then I think Cousins is fine too, but the one guy that I'm going to take a couple of shots on, and it's purely because if this happens, I want to be out ahead of it. I don't want to be behind the curve. But if Brian Daboll can actually bring a pace-up offense and do something with that New York Giants offense, Saquon Barkley's supposed to be fully healthy now, could be huge for Daniel Jones. It's a tough matchup. It's a low total. $5,000 flat, though. He's projecting points per dollar to be one of the best plays on the board. If I want to pay up and get the higher priced running backs and one of the higher priced receivers, I might go with a little Daniel Jones, maybe mix him in 5% in multi-entry.
Yeah, I like where you're getting off the board there on the opposite side. If you're not using Hurts, you're actually going to go to Goff. That's definitely not something I'm doing, but I appreciate it because it's a good way to leverage up that game while still getting other pieces within it. So I definitely think that's good. I got to call the people out, though. 600 watching, 150 likes. I wouldn't call you out if you got there, but here's the pause. Put the coffee down. 1 second. Put the bacon strip down. 1 second. Grab the mouse. Click the button. Boom. Thumbs up. Let's go. We got to get 300 plus by the end of the show. Quick thoughts from me. You guys hit a lot of it. Hurts for me. It's just easy to move off them in cash games. Play them. I think it's just too cheap. It makes sense. But in tournaments, especially the $5 Millie Maker on DraftKings, you're going to hear from me at a lot of these chalk plays. It's just easy to get off them because there's so many other options and you're going to need some home runs. On the contrary, a little bit is the thing about week one is sometimes it's as easy as one simple leverage piece into your stack in the higher dollar, more expensive tournaments where you can just do something small, which I'll get to one in a second, and then you fill it out with the rest. And we'll go there. But quick take on the Arizona-Kansas City game. I like I said, with AP, I know why he's doing it. And people are a little bit afraid of the Mahomes side for good reason. It's hard to pick it out. The man himself, Mahomes, came out and said it's going to be wide receiver roulette, basically. I'm sorry, fantasy people. I'm going to different guys every week. It's whoever's open. That's sort of the case. Hardman, Valdez-Scantling. Of course, Kelsey's going to get love, but there's other guys there. And then Juju, you got to decide on CEH, some of the backfield there. So makes it tougher to stack. The one thing I will say, and AP's on this as well on the other side, is last year it was the opposite. If we had a Mahomes versus Kyler Murray game last season, you would have said the same thing, but you would have been saying it on the Kyler Murray side because he had so many guys and it was hard to figure out. This week, we've got Rondale Moore out. We've got Ertz likely to play, but it's, a much more condensed offense, I think, on that side. So if you wanted to get that game in there, and you probably should, I will be, I'm going with the Kyler side. For once, we've got it a little bit more condensed. Then you can pick and choose your one-offs on the opposite side of that stack. So if it ends up being Valdez-Scantling, you've got him in with a Kyler stack. If it ends up being Hardman, you can do that. So you can take a few more chances, but I know AP will be heavy on Mahomes. And I think if you are playing Mahomes, you need to really commit like 30% of your rosters or something to get some of those combinations so you can get there if or when he hits the ceiling. Other guys, I love both sides of that Raiders game. Going to be going with Herbert and Carr. Interestingly enough, I was saying right before I hopped on the show, some lineups with like a game stack, if you just flip Herbert to Carr, even though I like Herbert better, it ends up just making so much more work. So I do like that for sure. And then the guy I was talking about where you could sort of one-off it there, if you want to get in on it early, and it's not ideal, but Tua. If you play Tua with Tyreek Hill, that's it. You don't have to run it back if you don't want to, but you could. Devontae Parker in a revenge game, pretty good receiving prop if you wanted to, but you don't have to. But you can go Tua, Tyreek, or you could even go Tua, Waddle. They had a good connection already. Tua, we've seen a couple clips of in practice, but I'm just saying that's one that I'm going to play because I think once you do that, you haven't got too crazy. You've got a guy that could rush one or two in and throw a bomb or throw a 10-yard pass to Tyreek who takes to the house. And you're just getting different without getting crazy, right? You're getting different
Tambo,
without getting too cute. Go ahead.
I like that comment there. Like I have Tua, like I'm under on this game, but when you look at this Dolphins team, could they just lay it to the Patriots here? Like this Patriots team doesn't look very good, especially offensively. I mean, the Dolphins, one thing that they are is fast, and they have playmakers, and they have really talented, athletic guys. Obviously Tyreek Hill there. I mean, Could they just like absolutely lay it to the Patriots here? And are you running doubles with your Tua? If you have Tua stacks in there, are you making sure it's all doubles or singles fine?
It's almost all singles. I'm checking what I've got right now. I didn't force it that way, but just of note, it almost came up that way. And that's where I'm saying, like, again, people are looking to hit everything. Like if I go Tua, get it all the way there. And to me, it's like, I don't know. If you just have him with one, I think you're fine. And then you really are different everywhere else in the lineup. You're already different enough that you can sort of go wherever you want with the rest of the lineup. But could Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle get there? I think so, if you've got Gesicki blocking. But the other side of it is, what if Bill Belichick just decides to cancel out Tyreek and it ends up being like Chase Edmonds, who we'll get to when we get to the running back position as a lower-owned, off-the-chalk check down guy. But I do love your call, AP. I think they could absolutely smash them. I think something like alternate line, like -13.5 could be in play there, and they might just destroy them. And then, of course, Miami defense later on will get talked about as well. The last one I want to talk about, JTAs, I'll go to you on this. Joe Burrow, right? It looks like, because we're going to segue to running back in a second here. By the way, now we're halfway to 500 on the likes, so let's keep that going. But if Mixon's going to be popular, first off, you could use him with Burrow. He gets enough pass attempts, reception opportunities from Burrow that it could work. But I also think when you've got Cousins with Jefferson and Thielen, another one I like, you could go Burrow, Chase, and Hurst or Higgins or Boyd. It's still a pretty condensed side over there. Any thoughts on this Burrow stack this weekend?
Yeah, I do like it. It's interesting. I mean, a lot's going to come down. I mean, we're going to see, I think TJ Watt, is going to be in here. It's JJ Watt who's questionable on the Arizona side. I always confuse them. But with this game, I mean, Higgins at 6,100 on DraftKings. We know what Chase has done. They do have a lot of weapons here. So it's sort of like, I think the same thing if you were going to try and stack Mahomes with his playmakers, you've got to make like 5 to 7, maybe more than that, Cincinnati stacks, right? And you're not going to do the same combination. It'll be Burrow, Mixon, Higgins, Burrow, and Chase, something like that, just to give you the different combinations to get there and then mix in those other plays. But I do think the way that this Steelers defense looks to be set up for this season, I think the Bengals are in a good spot. And these games between the Steelers and the Bengals have been pretty high scoring. Usually the first game of the season between these two guys is pretty high scoring as well. Weather is good. So yeah, I like the Cincinnati side here. And that's the thing on opening week, right?
Yeah.
We like a lot of things because the NFL does such a good job with these schedules and these matchups. You got a lot of really, really interesting games today. So I think for the bulk of my lineups, I'm going to try and stay at those games that are paced up with higher totals. But I think this is one that's going to come in overall with some of these pieces a little bit lower owned.
Yeah, and last thing I'll say on that, and then AP, I'll flip it to you if you got any lottery tickets out there that you want to name. I'll name a couple. People, we don't want to name everyone. That's the guys we're the heaviest on, and that's what we want to give you here, our true plays. But I'm saying we'll give you some thoughts. But on that Cincinnati thought process, if you're rolling like off of Mixon, I think like having Burrow, Chase, and then someone running it back, whether it's going to be Freiermuth to get different at the tight end position, or you could go with Pickens, who we'll get to later when we get to that. You could do something like that, but I would probably put like James Conner into my running back position, because now you're saying that Mixon's not going to do it. So why not pivot off that chalk and go to someone that's a little bit like lower owned that's right there at that same price. So I think that's the way to do it. Some lottery tickets, AP, I've got, if you were going to do it, I'm not heavy on any of these, but I've heard Davis Mills. I've heard Flacco with Elijah Moore and do it that way instead of the Lamar side. And then, of course, we didn't even talk about Lamar. You mentioned him, AP, but he's fine to stack up as well. I want to wait to talk about him later when we get to tight end, where we've got a decision to make, I think. But either way, anybody else you want to mention, AP, at the quarterback position?
Yeah, so I did have one more. I was just going back through my stacks and looking at my exposures. Obviously, like my 150 is not done yet. A lot of work to be done. I think I'm kind of like you guys. There's a lot of information yet to digest. We got a lot of content. We have such a strong, crew here. I got to hear everyone's takes, and so adjustments will be made. But my lottery ticket is Jameis Winston to Chris Olave. I'm going to be focused on those stacks there. And man, like JT Hayes, you'll be right there front and center. You could even run it back with Kyle Pitts if you want. But I do think Jameis Winston's going to chuck. Chris Olave, he absolutely torched in college last year for Ohio State. So that's kind of my one lottery ticket route. Outside of that, I'm not like, I'm going to let other people kind of make mistakes and get way, way, way different. I'm just going to focus on what I feel are the best and underpriced plays here.
Yeah, I'll just explain it out loud, because someone said, like, don't you mean Najee? No, what I'm saying is if you're going with a Burrow stack, pass catchers, not Mixon, your assumption in building that lineup, you have to tell a story, is saying, I don't think it's going to be Mixon today. So in that particular lineup, it would make some sense to go to the $100 cheaper Cardinals running back, James Conner, in the afternoon, to say that he destroys him, and you still get pieces in a high total game, because you're also not playing Kyler or Mahomes. So it's all about your construction. I'm saying if you're saying one thing's not going to happen, you're actually saying two. You're saying you think Burrow can beat Kyler and Mahomes. So you're saying that game doesn't go with the pass catchers or the quarterbacks. So you're putting that in, and then you're leveraging in a same price spot for someone in that same game in the afternoon. Of course, you can still put Pickens or Freiermuth or Claypool or whoever you want on the other side of the game stack if you want to run it back, but you also don't have to. It is Mitch Trubisky. That's another one I've heard that people talk about, but I don't know. Let's move on. JT Hayes, I'm going to start with you at this running back position. It's obviously a very popular spot here for Christian McCaffrey, $8,500, someone that you can expect to go up in price. We've heard all the talk. It's the Baker Mayfield revenge game. All he does is check down in preseason. It's going to be the CMC show at $8,500. What are your thoughts on him? And then what are you doing with the rest of the running backs here? What are some of the ways you can get off the chalk this Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to be underweight on McCaffrey. I just he popped up on the injury report late in the week. He is, I mean, I don't want to say he's fragile, but he's just injury prone, and you never know when he's going to go down. So I think my max is going to be like 10% of McCaffrey, just to have a little bit in case he can stay healthy for a full game, and that is what happens. But I like some of these other guys a bit more. I do like Joe Mixon here in this matchup. We saw that, especially late in games, he'll get some extra carries there, get into the box. So I like Mixon. You mentioned him at least, Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds is popping in some of the projections I use. And my same thinking on why I might use just 5% of Daniel Jones and some of his guys is the same thinking on the Dolphins here. A new coach, a new mindset, couple of different weapons that are interesting. Chase Edmonds being one of those weapons when he was healthy, when Connor was injured last year, he looked really explosive. And I think it's a good matchup, good enough matchup here against the Patriots. Some of these other guys, I think one guy I'm going to be very overweight on is Alvin Kamara. I don't care if he's popular. He is from the Atlanta area. That is something that he's talked about when he comes here. He likes to show off in front of his friends and family, and he's done so. And I don't think this Atlanta defense, once again, is going to have all that much to stop Kamara. I think he's going to be the focal point of this offense today. So I like him quite a bit. And then from there, I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. I know that I want to hear your take on Elijah Mitchell, because he's a guy that I'm interested in. I know there was some concern about some injury. There's some concern, I think, about some wet weather in Chicago. So pretty spread out there. And then I mentioned Saquon. I mean, Saquon 6,100. If he is fully healthy, this is not a matchup against the Titans that we look to target for rushing opportunity, but Saquon is a guy that can be part of that passing offense, that short passing game that Daniel Jones is going to need today. So I think Saquon at 6,100, he's going to be popular though. But I like him nonetheless.
Yeah, and some great points there, like the CMC, Saquon Barkley, it looks like by far the two most popular. So I think that's the case. And like I said, for me, just not that interested. I'll go to AP here in a second. Junior asked just to flip back to quarterback for 2 seconds. The reason I said it like I did, like I'll play 5 to 6 quarterbacks heavy and that's it. Maybe throw a lottery ticket on some others where it's just my favorite plays with a weird stack and do it that way, like a Flacco or something. I just will not commit to those. You don't need to. I'm already getting different enough in other ways. If you're playing a 20 max, you could literally just pick a guy and go on. Like if you want to play Mahomes and you're playing 20 lineups, just lock them and just get those combinations of them, because don't try and get like 3 Mahomes lineups, 3 this guy, 3 this guy. You're just putting yourself in a bad position. Get heavy in 20 max, something like that. Let's keep it going here, AP. What do you got here? Running back thoughts. We got CMC, Barkley. It looks like even Harris gets a little bit of love, but Aaron Jones, I think, is worth talking about as well, because the conversation around him is quite obvious. No Lazard, or extremely doubtful. Obviously, doesn't look like he's going to play. So if you've got that situation, you've got Jones being talked up as the wide receiver 1 and a running back for just 6,700. Let's talk about running back, AP. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to be locked in arm in arm with JT Hayes there. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, earlier in the week, one thing that I said was I'm not going to fade any of these guys that have slate breaking ability just solely due to ownership. But man, Christian McCaffrey, I'm showing some really big ownership numbers on him. I think if you're targeting that $5 Millie Maker today, I think you just eliminate him from your pool. Like you're going to wipe out a bunch of ownership by doing that. If you eliminate McCaffrey, if you eliminate Jalen Hurts, you're starting to get different. Are you different enough, already? Probably not. But it's definitely a start there. So I think I'm going to, in large field tournaments, definitely fade Christian McCaffrey today. I love Alvin Kamara too. I'm there with JT Hayes. When you look at this offense, is Michael Thomas, is he still questionable?
He looks likely to play. The news came out this morning.
Okay.
That him and Drake London both look likely. Kittle,
I like that.
I believe is out. Yeah, Kittle's out overnight. So
I like that because maybe that even lowers Alvin Kamara's ownership just a little bit. I think he's going to absolutely smash today. I agree with JT. Like, this Falcons defense doesn't appear like we ran running backs against them, for the last 2-3 years. And I don't see that changing here. So I'm very high on him as well. I like Joe Mixon. So my reason for being under or fading completely Christian McCaffrey is we have so many good running backs here today. And so many that have, what I feel are very fine price tags. Joe Mixon is a guy that I really like. I think it was JSU that really sold me on him. I know that's one of his main plays today. He'll be on the Up to Lock show. You can catch all his comments there. But then we get down to Aaron Jones. I know everyone's talking about it. I thought he was going to be one of the highest owned running backs this week. And one of the reasons just being like from a, it's more of like an NBA term. Like when a key player is gone, NBA, another player steps up, or that usage goes elsewhere, among the 5-player startings. We get like a big usage increase in Aaron Jones's production, now that he's going to be like their main guy. And so like I think Rodgers is definitely going to lean on him. We saw it all last year as well. So, when Devontae Adams was out of game. So I'm going to be very high on Aaron Jones. Jonathan Taylor in a smash spot against the Texans. Like, I think you do got to make the decisions between Taylor or McCaffrey, and you could even fade them both if you want. But Taylor is definitely going to be the guy that I side with. So for me, up top with running back, it's kind of simple. Kamara is my favorite, very closely followed by Aaron Jones. And the one thing about Jones is, so this is like one of my favorite secondary stacks on this slate, is just that Jones to Jefferson. I know it's going to be popular, definitely a popular route to stack that game up, but I think it gives you a nice way to attack that game. And then, Kamara, Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor up top. That's kind of where I'm hanging out on this slate.
Yeah, I made a mistake earlier. It's week 1. We overthink things. I said put the bacon down and hit the like button, but that's contrarian. You save the best for last. The bacon obviously is the best part. You were eating toast. Now you've probably got to your bacon. Now you can set the bacon down, grab the mouse, hit the like button. 750 plus watching. We should be at 375. We're only at 290. So we got to get it to 300 plus and then roll it from there. So stop, hit the like button. We get back to the program. Running back, AP, you brought it up. I love this call. And JT Hayes talked about a bunch of them too. That 7K range has a bunch of options. Mixon obviously being one of them, but I actually like a couple things different there. I'm with you guys on Alvin Kamara. New coach too, remember. Hopefully someone can line up Winston and say, how about let's not throw 5 picks today and just check it down to your guy Kamara and let him do his job for you. So I think Kamara looks good. I talked about James Conner earlier being a pivot off of Joe Mixon, who is not like crazy. I got Joe Mixon 15 to 20 range. He's picking it up. So I got a guy in there that you can go to in James Conner. And then I like Dalvin Cook, actually. I should say the Cousins, Jefferson, Thielen, Irv Smith. It's easy to stack up that side of the game. It's very easy to run it back. There's ways to get different, all of that in that game. But I've come around to this. I'm liking it more. And Sean just mentioned it in the chat, not necessarily that secondary stack, but there's some good secondary stacks in there. Like you could run a Dillon or a Jones across from a Thielen and still get a nice piece of that game. You could, and not play the chalkier low price tight end in Irv or Jefferson, who's going to smash probably, but is it enough to beat the slate? Like, we don't know. He's always good. I love Jefferson, but just saying it that way. The other side of it is you can play it like I was talking about, Dalvin Cook across from Robert Tonyan. That's where you just flip the game script. So a couple guys I'm flipping on there. One is I like Cook instead of that game that's kind of got a little bit more popular in the stacks. I'm still playing some, but that's where I like going now. And then the other one I had was Nick Chubb. This is disgusting. It's probably one of the grossest plays I'll bring up, but who did we say was the chalk at the top? It's McCaffrey. McCaffrey can get there in any game script and we know it, so I understand it. But Chubb is like $6,500 with like a 74-yard rush prop. the books are still given 30 to Hunt. Like, they know Hunt is there, as do we. But my thing is this Baker revenge game. It is a Baker revenge game factually. But everyone has it like that means he wins because he's going to get his revenge. That's not guaranteed. It's week one. We've seen it plenty of times. This thing can flip. The team that he was with that actually knows him and his tendencies and all this stuff could absolutely get after him and have a chance here. So I think there's definitely an opportunity for Cleveland to flip this script and find their way through it. It's a large field tournament take that you are leveraging up by playing it instead of McCaffrey. You're opening up a bunch more money. And that's kind of why I like that the roster construction just gets naturally different. JT Hayes, going back to you, some of these cheaper guys, Antonio Gibson, Elijah Mitchell, you've got Dameon Pierce, Mostert, Edmonds. I know you already talked a little bit about, but is there any of these other guys that you want to bring up? Dameon Pierce is definitely getting some conversation being so cheap on FanDuel and just 4,800 on DraftKings. Give me your thoughts for these cheaper running backs.
Yeah, so I'll start with Eli Mitchell. I mean, this team is just always, when he's healthy, you play him. That was the rule last season, right? He was on the injury report. Now he's going to play. And so, what is the real health status here? I think his outlook improves a bit with George Kittle not available. I just think that means that there's more opportunity for him. Let's talk about Antonio Gibson because what is Washington doing? He's going to be the main kickoff returner. I just, it's always been difficult. They've always had a guy behind him, and they were reluctant to make him that bell cow running back. So I think on this slate, it's a real dart throw to load up on Antonio Gibson. And because of his price and because of what, people and projectors believe is his athleticism, he's projecting well. But I think that offense is one that on this slate, I think I'm mostly going to stay away from. So talked about Edmonds a little bit. Again, new coach in that new role. And what did he do in places where he was? Well, it was a heavy running game. So I think you might see, especially with Tua being what he is, you might see Edmonds get into that heavy running game role. And then there was one other guy that you mentioned. I think it was Chubb, which is interesting because, people will talk about narratives, et cetera, et cetera. I think that's a great call. I think he's got an opportunity here. Carolina wasn't a team that we were scared of to run against last year, especially with the Browns offensive line being so strong and the rest of their situation being a little bit in flux. I think it's a great call. I think you could actually stack him with Cleveland's defense.
Yeah, it's a way to get unique in these large field tournaments for sure, because it makes perfect sense. And how much do they want the ball in the hands of their quarterback when you can just hand it off to Chubb? And we've seen him. He can bust that 80-yard one early, flips the game on its head. AP, I'll go to you on the Dameon Pierce question. Like, I want to talk about him and Elijah Mitchell. There is supposed to be weather in that game, which, again, and then San Francisco has that good line. I know people want Trey Lance to be a thing. Some are even playing Lance with Mitchell together and the defense, hoping they just run it down their throat all day. What are your thoughts on Dameon Pierce and Elijah Mitchell?
Yeah, so in that game, I think all of us are going to like Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman on the other side, looking for run backs. I think Dameon Pierce is definitely fine. Very cheap there. The opportunity should be there. Colts are going to absolutely smash, but assuming we get some dump offs and garbage time production, which I think we could all predict here, I do like him. And then Brandon Cooks would be the other guy. I know we're going to get to receiver. I got to make one other comment. I'm a donkey. James Conner, one of my favorite running backs too. I don't think we've talked about him yet, but
I love him. He's my guy.
Yeah, what a great way. Like, man, with how thin now the Cardinals are, you can stack him with Kyler too. Like that. Like I love that Kyler Connor stack, kind of trying to capture all of the touchdowns there. I mean, you could get 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns between those two alone. I mean, really contrarian way to attack that game. James Conner, one of my very favorite running backs. So I'm really living in that upper mid-tier range, but there are a few cheaper guys as well that I think are interesting. Like I know no one likes him, but man, Clyde Edwards, I don't think he's going to get a lot of ownership. I don't have a good read on his ownership situation, but at 5.4K, I don't think a lot of people are going to play him. And because and the problem, I'm not going to play him very heavy. The problem is you got a little roulette, potential situation there with the running backs that we've seen from Kansas City over, last year we saw it a ton. So, and then, kind of a millie maker play for me is AJ Dillon. I think with Rodgers, I think Rodgers is going to lean on people that he trusts here in this situation. I think they're going to score points. I think we're going to see production in this game. And so, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, I think are both in play. I think AJ Dillon being far more, tournament type of play there. So I'm going to be on both of them. And then I was just seeing real quick, do you guys see any just absolute punts? It gets pretty, dusty down there. So I don't think I'm going to be playing any like true, like 4K ish range, running backs over on DraftKings this week.
Yeah, it looks like it goes by game script, however you see it playing out. Like if you saw where, Houston might be able to pull something off, I could see if you went to Hines. If you saw where the Jets somehow can keep up or are, definitely it still works even if they're coming from behind against the Ravens, you could go Michael Carter for their side. Like there's plays like that you can make. The one that I have that's a little bit different, I know there's a lot of Edmonds talk, and Edmonds is already cheap enough, but they did. So I forget which 49ers coach went over, but with Mostert there, and if Miami does just smash, I kind of wonder if everyone thinks Edmonds is the sneaky play and it ends up being Mostert going off. We've seen it before where these cheaper guys can go 4x their price or something with the Miami D, play it that way for them just to smash, and maybe it gets there. I'm not in love with it, but it's definitely in the pool for me. And then the Dillon one, I love. I'm not sure if anyone saw the pictures. They've got multiples of them out there. But if you look at Dillon standing next to Jones, it does look like RB1 and wide receiver 1. And JSU, our boy, already put it out there for the public on the Print Factory show. I thought it was one of the sharpest takes of the week across the industry is if you play Jones and Dillon together, you're getting the wide receiver 1, maybe, in Jones, and the running back 1 that they should just jam it with at the line. If you've seen Dillon, I have no clue why you would not just hand that guy the ball every time you get even close. Why risk Aaron Rodgers? Why risk anything? The guy's legs are bigger than the screen can hold. So I would just be using him down there. And I think he's a guy that you can play that way, or just play him in your large field tournaments instead of Jones, because Jones is going to be popular in a 1.1 million person field though for $5 on DraftKings. Play Dillon, play him across from Thielen, get your piece of the game that way and hope that Dillon jams 2 and Thielen gets 2 on the other side or 1 and a bunch of catches. So I like that quite a bit. Let's move on though. Let's go to wide receiver, AP. I'll click it right back to you. We've got, a big decision here at the top. Obviously it's Michael Pittman, who's going to be the most popular. And then you've got guys after him, like some of the cheap guys, Romeo Doubs, for Green Bay, who we just talked about, Marquise Brown over for Arizona, Justin Jefferson, some of those guys. So what are you doing here at wide receiver, and how are you getting off the chalk this week?
Yeah, so we saw this many times last year where, eating the chalk was definitely fine. Like Cooper Kupp was in the most millie maker winning team. I get it 5 times last year, and he was like 25-30% owned. So here's like my take on like a Michael Pittman. He's clearly underpriced for the situation. He has upside, wide receiver 1. And, you get Matt Ryan, who, arguably, maybe a little bit more accurate. Like, I don't know how much of an upgrade, a Matt Ryan would be, but I do think that he's going to be target. Like, I do think Michael Pittman's going to be a friendly target for him. So I have Michael Pittman as one of like my, a main play. I'm going to be getting very overweight on him. It's just a situation where I think the probability of failure is pretty low, and that basically fine eating that chalk. And then where I get worried is some of these cheaper guys, Romeo Doubs. And then I think the other one was Dotson for Washington. Like those 2 cheap guys worry me just a little bit more, because it seems like those cheap ones have a much higher, fail rate than a guy like Michael Pittman that we know what to expect from him. So I'm definitely fine eating the chalk there. And then Hollywood Brown, I'm definitely in on too. Like he's another guy that I'm just, I'm very high in that game. And so he's a guy with massive upside relative to his 6,200 price tag on DraftKings. At receiver, so how do we get off the chalk? Well, we correlate. I know I'm going to be eating a lot of chalk because I like Juju. I like MVS. I mean, let me talk about the Mahomes and the receiver situation real quick. I'm really interested to see what defenses do. So the one thing with Tyreek Hill being gone, and when you think about Mahomes' big arm and deep threat, big playability, what are the safeties going to do? Like I could see, like last year, what we saw when teams took away the deep ball is Mahomes just spreading it, right out there in the flats, just quick dump offs. I think we see that early, and then I think we see Mahomes go for the deep ball with like an MVS. So I think when you look at Juju at 5,200 and when you look at MVS at 4,700, I actually, if I'm doing a Mahomes double, I think the most popular route is going to be one of Juju or MVS with Kelsey. My favorite way is fading Kelsey in those doubles and getting Juju and MVS in there because I think it's just going to get you different. Yeah. And I think they're relatively cheap if we get the right game script here to where Juju is just getting all the targets and then we're getting the home run ball with MVS. So I like those guys. Really like MVS today. I think I know Mahomes is going to want to, throw it deep, and that's the guy that they got to go to. So, and then as far as just other receivers, I mean, Justin Jefferson, here's like another thing that I found just in my research. These slate breaking receivers who have tons of upside, I don't want to just like auto fade them. Same could be said about the running backs, but we have so many running back options this week. I'm to where I'm fine fading like a Christian McCaffrey. I think the big upside receivers, it's a little bit thin on this slate relative to running back. So Justin Jefferson, one of my favorite receivers, pairing him right there with Aaron Jones or Dillon, I think is completely fine. But I'm going to end up eating a lot of chalk here at receiver. I know we'll get to the pump plays and everything too, but up top, I'm making sure my lineups are perfectly correlated. My favorite is MVS with Pat Mahomes, and then Hollywood Brown as well. I'm going to have high exposure to them, and then Michael Pittman. I'm eating all the chalk there, so call me a chalk donkey, but it is what it is, Tambo.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I said, at least you're correlating it up. Like you said, you're playing it the right way, and that's where it really comes down to. The thing with Marquise Brown, I mentioned it earlier, but that's my point, is people are going to have Mixon and Marquise Brown, and I've got Connor and Higgins in another way. It's basically the same thing for $100 less or more, and it comes in at lower ownership. So I'm going to do that instead. I'm on Jamar Chase. Big. I already talked about that one. I like Thielen, Michael Williams, Mike Williams, I should say, for that game because I'm heavier on both those quarterbacks. So he's going to fit my stacks. DJ Moore is a guy that fits in because if I'm not going heavy on CMC, which I'm not, I have a play there that you can use. I think he's a guy that could see some action and just separates you because he's sort of that mid-tier wide receiver with more of a balanced build that still works with those 7K and 5 and 6K running backs. So I like that. And then Josh Palmer is a guy that's in those stacks. So he already makes sense with the quarterbacks I'm on. But at the same time, if you're trusting like Dobbs and, Randall Cobb, Kadarius Toney, Dotson, all these guys, I'm going to go with the guy that I think is with the better quarterback in Herbert. And I'm going to go with the guy that actually has rapport and trust that they built last season. So, and it fits the game stack. So it's like I'm hitting on things where to me, there's not as much uncertainty and I'm not as scared to go there. So I think that's the best way to think of it. Some other guys like Christian Kirk, Brandon Ayuk now with no Kittle. I like him. Elijah Moore in those stacks with Lamar. You can do that. And then Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, guys like that falling with him. But that's sort of where I fall. JT Hayes, I'll go to you because we got to keep it moving. But wide receiver here, what are your thoughts at this position?
Yeah, I'll just throw out some guys that have been mentioned. I mean, you did mention Jamar Chase. I like him and T. Higgins quite a bit in this game. Higgins just 6,100 on DraftKings. I like that price for him, and I like that game environment for these Cincinnati guys. Talked about this guy a little bit earlier with the targets that he saw last year and the target tree. This game is a game where the total's gone up. It's going to be fast-paced. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know how many times we talked about him on the show last week, and he went 5 or 6 weeks in a row, double-digit targets, over 20 fantasy points, and he's the guy. He's the guy that Jared Goff has rapport with. He's the guy he's going to be looking for first today. So I like him quite a bit. You mentioned Randall Cobb. I think Randall Cobb actually is probably one of the better receiver plays if you're going to play either him or Dubes. I like Randall Cobb. Aaron Rodgers, instrumental in bringing him back to Green Bay, and talked about it last season. A couple of games where Devontae was out, Devontae was facing double coverage. Cobb was the guy that he went to. So I think Cobb could see perhaps even double-digit targets here in this game. So, and then with you guys on Justin Jefferson, with you guys on some of the other plays that you mentioned.
Anybody else for you, AP, at wide receiver before we go to tight end?
I mean, what an upgrade. You know, he went from some guy named Amon-Ra St. Brown to now Amon-Ra St. Brown. So you love to see it, JT Hayes. I mean, we took that.
Listen, he won me over, and it was. But now I will be, in fairness, that was before the report came, and he was popular, and I don't think he did much that week. But then he just went off, and I've got him everywhere now. I'm going to put him in almost
say
every
it was
night.
after you spoke to his parents, he started playing well. So his success relied on JT Hayes' conversation with his parents.
I mean, it was the slander that he felt, and now look at him.
Yeah. AP, anybody else you want to mention at running back, or sorry, at wide receiver, or do you want to move to tight end?
For cheapies, real quick, just like some kind of cheap filler darts that I'm using to fill into my stacks. I obviously Dobbs, or how'd you pronounce his name, JT? That was Doobies? Is that what you called him?
Doobs, he said.
Doobs. I like that. Our boy Doobs. All right, I get behind that.
It's Doubs, so I just went with the phonetic spell. Doobs.
I'm a fan of that. So Wan'Dale Robinson, he played for Nebraska for a short stint, and here's the thing: this dude is really talented. And if you've seen Nebraska football anytime recently, the program is not in the right place. This dude, when he came here, is by far the most talented guy, 5-star recruit, all of that. I think he realized it very quickly that he should not be at this program. He transferred out. I think he went to Kentucky, and I believe. But this dude is very talented. I think they're going to get him in space, get him the ball, and I think he might be one of the more talented guys on this Giants team. I don't love they got a lot of people that they can go to now, and I don't. I mean, the team total's not nice or anything, but I'm going to have a few shares of Wan'Dale 3K over on DraftKings. Nico Collins as a run back with the Johnny Taylor or Michael Pittman play, I think is okay. Chris Olave, I really like him today. I like him even more now. I hope Michael Thomas plays, because I think if Michael Thomas was out, I think everyone thinks of this as like NBA where like when a key player is out, automatically, someone like a Chris Olave is going to get more target share. I don't think it really changes very much for him. We all know Winston likes to throw the deep ball, so I like him there. Just seeing if I have anyone else. No, I think that's it.
Wan'Dale Robinson from Frankfort, Kentucky, by the way, just down the street. Many of his friends and family will be at this game today and could make for a great little secondary stack with Derrick Henry in the afternoon. So keep that in mind. I do like that a little bit there as well. I like the Olave call in that game. You could stack it up with just Olave and Pitts. Nice little secondary stack there. Speaking of Pitts, let's move on. Let's talk about your boy here, JT Hayes. Big Atlanta Falcons fan going to the game. Looks like Drake London might play it. It's almost like the Michael Thomas in for Olave thing we just said, where you kind of like that, because now it means at least a little attention might stay off of Pitts. So JT Hayes, Kelsey, popular at the top, but what are you doing here at the tight end position this week?
Yeah, and the same thing with Kelsey that we've talked about a little bit with the Chiefs is I think Kelsey's going to get fed. I think he's going to be fine. The price is great. It's just simply a matter of which one of these guys is going to be the guy that gets the most targets, that gets into the end zone. And I think that makes it a little bit less predictable than the field thinks. So easy pivot there, going right to Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, I think $200 more expensive on DraftKings. So yeah. I think he's fine. You mentioned Pitts. Man, I love Kyle Pitts. I wish he didn't have Marcus Mariota throwing him the ball. And I wish that, they didn't have to deal with this offensive line. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be an interesting game. I don't know that I'm going to get to Pitts today, but if I was going to play a Falcon, it would be him or Cordero Patterson, because, I just think you're going to see those two guys. I just don't know that they'll be able to have any efficiency. TJ Hawkinson at tight end. Again, Detroit, a very tight tree there with St. Brown, Hawkinson and Swift. So I think Hawkinson is safe for his price. And then one guy, it's again a total leap of faith here that I'm going to have maybe 5% of as a pay down at tight end. Talked about Brian DeBoll, new coach, and Daniel Bellinger looks like he might be the tight end one here. He's a kid they're very high on. He was back in practice and looks like he's going to take the snaps as the top tight end there. And if you remember, Brian DeBoll coming from Buffalo, where he built up these tight ends, turned Dawson Knox into an absolute star. So not saying that he's going to do that today, but 2,500, if I wanted to pay up at some of these other positions, I think I'll take some shots with Daniel Bellinger.
I like it. Cheap spot to go there at tight end. We'll talk about another one in a second. All right, guys, third last time I'm going to ask. We've got about 10 minutes left. We've got tight end defense. If you want the conviction plays, we'll save the time for it. We're each going to give one conviction play at the end. Do us a favor, hit that like. A lot more have joined since the last time I asked. Almost 1,000 watching now. The goal is always 500 plus likes before we bring on Hoop, Eric Crane, our guy, and then, of course, the latest fantasy football world champion, our boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Big T. But before those guys come on, we got to get to 500 likes. So hit that like button. We'll keep it rolling here, and then we'll get to our conviction plays at the end. AP, your boy Kelsey, he's got the ownership up top. You're using him because you're stacking Mahomes. Perfect sense. But is there ways you could be different with using him? You've talked about some of it at the other positions, maybe different way to run it back, and then other guys that you're going to use at the tight end position.
So, all right, here's the interesting thing. Like, before I dive into it, if you eliminate Kelsey, if you eliminate Christian McCaffrey, if you eliminate who was the chalkiest receiver we talked about? Pittman. Let's not eliminate him. I like him. We can eat that. Hurts at QB. So if you eliminate Kelsey, McCaffrey, Hurts, you're on the right path now to getting different in that $5 milli for sure. All right. So Kelsey, is he a phenomenal play? Yeah. I mean, it's we all know all the reasons why he's a very good play today. Well, like, what's the reasons he might not get there? One reason is all the attention is going to be on him now. I believe Mahomes when he says it's going to be receiver roulette here. I think any one of these playmakers are in play for target share, even the running backs as well. If all the attention is on Kelsey, you see them use him as almost a decoy until later in the game. So, like, I'm a little bit worried on Kelsey today. I think he's a safe option. I'm not fading him, but I honestly, like, in 150, I'm not fading him because I want all the different combinations with Mahomes, but I do find myself underweight relative to the field. I'm just higher on the like Juju MVS, or even just like Mahomes +1. I'm even higher on that, and then just getting elsewhere, because I do think if you go strictly by an optimizer, we use SaberSim. What I've found is a lot of these optimizers are almost wanting to overstack some of these spots, and the reason is because of these price tags just feel a little bit too cheap given the game environment and or projected game environment. So I'm a little nervous about Kelsey today, but I'm not fading him. I think he's a fine, safe play. I really like Mark Andrews. So, like, I almost want to go up 200 to more Mark Andrews, and I don't even think you can use him as a one-off. You can pair him with Lamar Jackson, like we talked about. I think that's definitely fine. Another guy that the Millie Maker, so I was golfing with our boy Snyder on Friday, and he riding in the cart along with him, having some drinks and stuff. The whole time talking up Isaiah Likely, 2,500. Should be like wide receiver number 3 there, but he's got that tight end tag. So I'm riding with it's very likely that I'm riding with Snyder on his call on Isaiah Likely.
I'm glad you brought that up, because on Friday,
we had to, right?
That's who I was talking about this whole time. On Friday, I said unlikely, and I am always a man of the people. That's why you got to tune in for this show. I tell it like it is. I did not like him on Friday. I did not like him on Friday morning or Friday evening, 2 shows I did. And now that we've got to Sunday, he found his way in because I'm playing Lamar, and he's $2,500. If it's not Bateman and it's not Andrews, it's likely that it could be Isaiah Likely. So that's what I'm saying. If you want to go there, you can do it. It fits really well with like Lamar Likely and Elijah Moore. I'm not heavy on it, but in those stacks, why not? Then you can fit all the running backs you want. You're already different enough. You can just do so much with it. So I'll give you guys mine because I'm a man of the people, but it's second last call for these likes. We're at 435 now with well over 1,000 watching. So you have to hit the like button. stop, hit it. It's easy. Subscribe if you haven't already. But I'll give the pool, for the most part, it's Waller and Everett because I'm heavy on that game. It's Andrews with my Lamar. Likely's down further, but I have more Andrews for sure. A one-off that I like is Mo Alley Cox. He leverages both JT and Pittman, where you can play him in that game. And if they get down there and decide not, we've seen this so many times with Indianapolis where they just decide to go to the tight end instead when they get down there. I think he could vulture something there. I think he makes some sense. And then Freiermuth and Hurst are just flyers in that game. I couldn't get as much Robert Tonyan as I wanted, but I think he's fine if you want to put him in across from Dalvin Cook. Anything else, JT Hayes, for you at the tight end position?
No, that's it.
Go to defense, man. Let's do it. I'll stick with you. We got the Commanders. They're just going to smash here, right? It's the week one top owned defense. What are you doing here with the Commanders and the rest of the defense position? We'll do this one quick, just 2 or 3 you like.
Yeah, I think the chalk defense is, it's 50-50 like anything else, right? I mean, the Commanders, good matchup. The Dolphins, interesting matchup. It looks like the Patriots offense is kind of in disarray. And if you wanted to pay up, I think the Saints are fine. I think the Saints are going to get some points here in this game. And then one that I like that I don't think a lot of people are going to have is the Browns. Browns, a talented defense. And you mentioned it earlier. They know Baker Mayfield. They know very well what his limitations are. So I think that's a pretty interesting defense as well.
Yeah, I like that. And I'm sticking mostly to that AP. I'll come to you in a second, but I'm sticking to the same idea. I'm off the board, but I've got, the Falcons versus Jameis. I think people aren't thinking about that. I've got the Titans versus Daniel Jones. I've got the 49ers because I'm paying up. That's another good point here, I think, to make is that, well, it can make sense and work. A lot of the highest owned defenses, the Commanders, the Steelers, the Dolphins, the Bears, the Lions, all these, even the Jets, they make sense on paper, but it's all just because they're super cheap and it lets you jam everything else. I've built lineups enough here where you can still use these defenses that are a little bit more expensive, and I got no problem with that. AP, defensive thoughts before we get to sort of rounding this thing out and getting to our conviction plays. Almost at 500 likes. We're 25 shy. So I know they'll get there before the conviction plays. What do you got at defense?
Yeah, I'm not playing a chalky Commander team, so I'm off of them. I'm with you on the Browns. I think they're interesting. I actually think the Chiefs are somewhat interesting too. I know I'm very high on that game. I'm high on Connor, but the Chiefs do return a lot of pieces, on defense, and Kyler, guy that can turn the ball over. I also like the Saints too against Mariota. I think you'd go the Falcons too against Jameis Winston, a guy that turns the ball over. So I'm focused on these teams that are these defenses that are lower owned in situations against quarterback that have a high propensity of turnovers.
Yeah, one last one for me, and then JT Hayes, if you're ready, we'll get to conviction plays, but is the opposite side of the Commanders. Again, this is just a classic thing. Like the Commanders, for what reason? First of all, it's Trevor Lawrence going to a second. Like it might be better now. He's got Christian Kirk. He's got options. Like you never know what they could end up doing here, but like it's just like automatic that Washington's this great D that's going to smash him. We know that's not true. So why not go to the other side and use Jacksonville at the exact same price? I think that's another way that you could get different as well. AP, I think it's conviction plays to round it out, right? That's what we're going to do.
Yeah. All
right,
I'm good with that.
JT Hayes up first. Whatever you got, man. What's going to be your conviction call play of the day? What do we got?
Yeah, I think the mid-range wide receiver is pretty good. I talked about him a bunch. AP brought up that I did inadvertently slander him last year, but I'm going to roll with the guy that I believe is in very much the same situation as last year. Not a lot of changes. You're looking at double-digit targets in a pace-up game. He's the number one wide receiver at just 6,100 on DraftKings. Amon-Ra. Rah, St. Brown.
Back to it. Love it. That's a great mojo to start the season. AP, what do you got, man? What are you doing here with your conviction play for the week?
Yeah, so I think I got to go Chiefs. We got to start it out right. And I think what Andy Reid, Mahomes, what they're going to do is they're going to start off kind of playing it safe, dumping the ball off, hitting the flats, and then we're going to see deep balls to MVS once those safeties creep up. So Marquez Valdez-Scantling looks to be the lower owned in this kind of receiving core here. I think he has a big game today.
I like that. And for me, I thought JT Hayes was going to steal it. He'll be at the game, but I'm going to Alvin Kamara. You talked about it, even local ties. Just feels like a game where we could see him flashing the grill, flashing 2-3 touchdowns on top of, like I said, if they can just focus Jameis in on saying, man, maybe those deep balls aren't such a good idea. We got to stick with our dude and keep checking it down. I feel like he could end up being a guy that is basically CMC for cheaper in this spot. And it's a game that I think we could see the action in a dome, all of those factors. 499 likes I'm looking at here, guys. Hit that 500 likes on the way out. AP, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here?
Yeah, no, I mean, week one's here. We're all excited. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's week one. So keep in mind, these weeks are usually highly volatile. And I mean, if you have a gut interesting take that's way different than ours, you know, I wouldn't ignore it. I would go in on it. So again, week one, you know, think about, you know, good bankroll management, take some shots and have fun with it.
Love it. JT Hayes, final thoughts before we get out of here.
Yeah, same thing I opened the show with. There's going to be a lot of interest and a lot of ownership on people in new places. Keep in mind, what does that change for everyone else? And who are the players that did well last year that don't have to face those changes that are going to get the same target share? That's the way I felt at 5 p.m. last opening day. Why didn't we play Cooper Kupp in every lineup? You know what to do.
Love it, man. Great to be back with you guys. We appreciate everyone being here with us. It's a great start to the season. It's going to be a great day at RPS. We got another great show coming up next. Last promo, if you guys haven't already heard, runpuresports.com. Use the promo code NFL15. If you want more of this, I said it all season long on these shows on the other sports, but simplify the slate for you guys with our cores, playbooks. Cores are where we're posting sort of a piece of our lineup, and you just have to fill in the other spots. The playbook, another foundational piece at RPS where it's got it all broken down for you, ways to stack it up. We have all of those things to simplify things for you guys, and then you can put together. And if you watch this show, you'll remember JT Hayes mentioned this. Oh, that would fit his core, and you can build out that lineup. So we want to make it easier for you guys, expedite the process, simplify the slate. That's going to do it for this week. We got the Morning Wood coming up next for JT Hayes, for AP, and for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Simon, get us out of here, man.
The NFL is just a few short weeks away, and Run Pure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.
With a score of 242.7, taking home $500,000. Big team, 4-4.
Oh, yeah! Big T! Best fucking name, by the way, let's be honest. Big T. Anything with a T in it. I love Mr. T. Remember Mr. T? Big T! It's your boy, Russ Hanneman. You can call me Uncle Russ. You're Big T, I'm Uncle Russ. I like the monikers. You can also call me Senor Tres or Mr. Fest, Russ Fest. You can call me ROI, which means radio on internet, but in French it means the king. So fucking yes. But I digress. Big T, Uncle Russ is here to wish you congrats on the giblets. Listen, I know you're the guy at Run Pure Sports that fucks. Am I right? Am I right? You know I'm right. Come on, you know I'm right. This man hits the workbench and fucks. Listen, man, congrats again on winning all that money in DFS, Big T, and keep running pure. I like that. Fucking love that, actually. Big T, you're the man. You're the man who fucks. And one day you will drive a car with doors that open like this or like this, not like this. Yeah. Big T. All right, enjoy it, man. Hanneman out.
Hello, everybody. What is going on? Happy Sunday. That's right. It's Sunday. That means we've got NFL football. And that means for the first time in God knows how long, we have got a little morning wood. And it is so good to be back. And guys, before I get into the introductions, click like, click subscribe. If you're loving what's going on over here at Run Pure Sports, click it. We love it. It helps us out. We appreciate it. And you know who else we appreciate? We appreciate Mr. Hoop. Mike Petta. What's up, brother?
Hey, not too much. NFL week one finally here. It's kind of like Christmas morning for, people like us. But more importantly, the reunion. I mean, we've been trying to make this happen for a couple of years now, get the crew back together, the original Wood crew. I mean, this dates back, probably 8 years, I'd say.
I was going to say it's been a long time. It's probably about 6 or 7. It was, I think, 7 years. 7 years.
So about 7 years, a little, couple year break. And now we're back together. It feels good. We're going to pick some winners here. Couldn't be more excited.
And I also couldn't be more excited when I'm scrolling Twitter the other night, and I was late to the party, and I see Big T over there shipping $500,000 in the FanDuel Fantasy Baseball World Championship. Tony, congrats, man. What the hell's been going on?
That was fun, but it's nothing in comparison to the Wood being back on Sunday mornings. I mean, I missed it the last couple of years. We had to fill in with bums like Holden. I mean, you left us with Holden the last couple of years. Just joking, Holden. I actually like you for NFL, but it is good to be back for the Wood and for football. I mean, who doesn't love a fresh week of football? I like it more as the season gets going and we start to see kind of what's what, but I don't know. I think we can take advantage of some spots today because everyone thinks they know the same stuff and they don't, I promise you, because it's week one and lots of stuff's not going to
Nobody knows it. Nobody knows it.
Exactly.
So you said that, taking advantage of some stuff. And Tony, I know you've been out there on Twitter just firing up your kid's drawing and you've got some issues with what's going on. And I got some bad news for you, man, because I'm on Team Eliana.
Don't be living in my head, Elena.
We're right here, Eliana. We're right here, buddy. I'm sorry.
I don't even pronounce her name right. I kept being Elena or something. But
is that I got a niece named Eliana. I know how to pronounce the damn name.
Well, as a supporter, like you should be able to explain what the thing is next to the apple, because that's what I'm still trying to figure out.
It's abstract. What the hell do you mean? It's abstract. We got like little Junior Picasso over there, and you're just hating on it. But
a lot has gone right for me the last year or so. Elena just freaking owned me. So you got the best of me. I had the whole DFS community voting. Still got owned. I mean, just I don't fully understand what happened, but we got owned is all I know.
I love that in the chat we got hashtag Eliana cheated, hashtag Eliana stole the election. That's great. No, it's funny. I decided I'm pulling out the props early in the year. That's awesome. All right.
Good one though. I like that. I wasn't expecting that. You caught me off guard.
I did not tell you before the show that the Aliana name tag was coming out. Oh man. So Tony, you were talking earlier about how this is one of those slates where it's NFL week 1. And the great part is everybody thinks they know everything, even though it's, 6 months after the season ended. Hoop, how are you taking advantage of that? Because we're going to get into the game by game. That's how we roll here on Run Pure Sports. We're going to be breaking down every single game for you guys. But Hoop, just in general, how are you kind of taking advantage of everybody thinking they know everything?
Yeah, I mean, the way I'm going to take advantage of that is going to spots where I don't need to think I know everything and spots where we already know. So I'm going to kind of focus in on a lot of the known situations. And then also, sprinkle in some of these unknown situations because you have to. There's no way to avoid the unknown situations because it's week 1. A lot of pieces have changed from last season to this season. But, a lot of people I think will probably make pretty big stands based on, what they saw in preseason or what everyone's talking about, these, hot topic names and things like that. So I'm going to try to focus in on some of the more known situations, which we'll talk about here throughout the show. But yeah, I mean, it's week 1 and, you dive into Twitter and man, you think these guys are just geniuses. They have it all figured out, winning the Millie today, no matter what.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump in.
They're all going to win the Millie because they played 487 best balls this summer. They're going to get the best.
I'm so sick of the best ball bros. Can we just shoot those guys to the moon? I saw on my timeline after Thursday Night Football, man, I told y'all Cooper Kupp was a good play. No, really, Cooper Kupp. Or who is the other one?
Everyone loves Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis.
And then, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then Allen Robinson's dead. Cam Akers dead. Yeah. It's over for them. The other thing, it's close though. Best balls and rainmakers, man. Those are man, it's a
rainmakers. There's way less people though. It's annoying. True. I agree with the annoying level, but there's 2% of the people. The best baller, everyone knows everything in the best ball. And now, a normal DFS slate, like Hoop just said, how everyone always tilts the first touchdown. Now it happens the first week, and then they say "Oh man, but then by week 5, everyone will have given up already again because their team sucks, and we'll be still here grinding DFS for the people.
Yeah.
Did you guys fire best ball?
I did
one draft.
I did.
I do a couple. I did
exactly 0 drafts. It was great. I'm in 0.
To be fair, I only did it because Simon. I'm a team player. Simon wanted me to come on. I put my time in. I got the job done, and I'm going to win with my one team.
I love it. That would be so great. That would be a very big thing to happen. If he just ships.
The best part about
the single entry.
Yeah, the best part about the best ball stuff, I'm so out of tune with it that I did a show with Simon early on and we entered a draft and I found out you can't enter underdog in Michigan. So I had no idea until I went to do a show with Simon. And that's how I found out that in Michigan, you're not eligible.
You not get in there and you can gamble on sports, but you can't play friggin'
strange.
You can bet 10 grand on a football game today, but you can't get in an underdog.
It makes no sense. Literally no sense.
Well, let's find out what games Hoop is betting 10 grand.
Find me a nice juicy 13 total for Landa.
I'll tell you, if you guys, so check out my Twitter because our boy Landa, who has been watching our shows since the beginning, put out a top 10 morning wood moments list, which I swear to you, I didn't even think about there would be 10 morning wood moments that we could watch that were that memorable, but he put that out. I retweeted on my Twitter. It's pretty great.
I, for one, was offended that Granny's hat wasn't one of the 10 moments.
That's a staple. Big T hitting up the 16 team totals. Number 10's good. Tony saying to Crane, you throw out your random picks. Tony saying, there's always next week, Crane. That was a couple of times.
I'm sure we're gonna hear that again today.
The 37X. That's stuck too. I mean, that is stuck. And the other one that he did forget was the season long. What was it? Who were the two guys?
Hyder Forte.
Yeah,
Hyder Forte.
Man, guys, you have no idea what we're talking about. We were doing a show. This was one of the early shows too. This was probably one of the first few shows we do. And this dude in the chat just blowing up Hyder Forte season long. And the dude just like, I think we answered it 3 weeks later or something. Like, we're not going to answer that during the show. So if you have season-long questions in the chat, I got bad news, guys. We don't fucking care. We really don't. So season-long, I mean, maybe we'll help you, but we probably won't, because we're here for some DFS winners. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. First game on the slate, we got the Saints at the Falcons. It's a 43-point total. The Saints 5.5-point favorites. And Tony, since it's a low total, I assume that you're going to be all over this game.
Yeah, and on the Print Factory, I had kind of a hot take, I think. I like Atlanta a lot to win this game.
Okay.
Outright, I don't need the points, so I'll start the season with just a tasty underdog right out of the gate. I don't know. All week, I keep hearing how great of a play Kamara is. Everyone always so safe. He's the best. Kamara, there's no risk to playing Kamara, all this stuff. I just don't think New Orleans is any good, so I'm on Atlanta here. As far as DFS, though, I mean, you can play some guys in this game, but I don't know if the joke's going to apply here because I don't love a ton in this game. Are we finally seeing – because I'm not fully up with the injuries. I haven't looked at that yet, but is Michael Thomas for sure good to go?
Yeah, Michael Thomas is going to be in, and on the other side, Drake London's going to be in. So my favorite play on the slate is in this game.
Let me see. Let's see if I can guess Crane's favorite play.
I don't know.
Let's play a game, Hoop. Let's see if we can guess who his favorite play is right out of the
I think I got it.
Both get one guess.
I got it.
Who is
All right, let's hear it, Hoop.
Chris Olave. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Okay,
Is that it?
it's Olave.
It makes it perfect that he said it however he said it.
Yeah, it's Chris Olave season, as Cape Alex Burner says. Like, okay, so Tony, what am I best at in fantasy football?
Picking receivers, baby.
Okay, I'm giving you right now a 4,500 receiver that's going to be totally unowned. And this dude might win Rookie of the Year, all right? He matches up with what Jameis does fucking perfectly, all right? Jameis loves to throw deep outside the numbers. Chris Olave, that's exactly what he does. These are the kind of wide receivers that have thrived under Jameis. Michael Thomas is coming off not playing football in a year and a half. All right. I'm not worried about him coming back from injury. Alvin Kamara, that's fine, but he's an underneath guy. Like Chris Olave is the only guy that they have that on the outside can make big boy plays. Like he's going to get there in like 3 or 4 catches. Do you remember Tony? Do you remember a couple years ago when I gave
you're going to talk about McLaurin and I gave who it is.
Yeah, and I don't know who the hell that is. This is the exact same spot.
You're trying to sell me on something that doesn't need to be sold, Crane. I follow you with receivers. You don't need to oversell. I'm already in, baby. We're going with Olave. You don't need to keep selling. We're in.
All right.
If you ever give me a receiver, if you give me a running back, I might fight back a little bit.
That's
fine. Give me a receiver, I'm in with you, baby. We're in on Mr. Olave.
All right. So Hoop, you're playing him in cash, right?
Olave, yeah, I'm in on it. Only if we keep pronouncing his name Olave, then I'll play him. That's
what did you call him out of the game?
I don't even know. What is Olave the real name?
Yeah, Olave is the real name.
I thought that was Olave or Olave.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's like I went with the French pronunciation of it. I can go into the JT Hayes thing where, I know his parents, they're, in the French peninsula or, whatever. I'll play him. I mean, on the Saints side, I have a little interest in Michael Thomas. I mean, if no.
It wouldn't be a season without Hoop taking the little dump off guys. No. Yes. No. That is perfect.
If Michael Thomas was white, Hoop would really love him.
Oh, he would be naked right now. Yeah, he plays like a white dude, though.
If he's anywhere, I mean, you guys aren't even going to let me go into a spiel on him, are you? No. If he's anywhere close to where he was.
So perfect that we just started the show with Craig talking about Olave and you talking about Michael Thomas.
Olave and Thomas. We're struggling. Out of the gate. I mean, Winston's obviously not Drew Brees. I mean, Drew Brees and Thomas, you guys just don't even want to hear this.
Hold on. Tell me about how Winston isn't Drew Brees anymore.
5.7K.
Start with this game.
5.7K. He's got to be pretty close to full health. The fact that they're rolling him out there. I think the Saints. I'm actually really opposite of Tony. I think the Saints have a
guarantee you love all these road favorites today. You're probably just eating them up.
We'll see. Also one thing we do need to nail down is some of these long teasers. We got to get into those here throughout the show because there's a lot available out there today. Yeah, I mean, if he's 5.7K, I mean, I'll take some chances. He's going to be low owned. I mean, can Winston be improved? I think he has a chance to be a little bit improved this season. We got Olave right there. I mean, I'm with Tony though on Kamara. The only problem I have with Kamara is like there's 6 other guys that are cheaper that are like the same as Kamara to me today. Like there's so many running back plays much cheaper than Kamara, and I just don't know if it's there in the spot. I mean, I think they do use Ingram, a little bit here as well. So I mean, moderate interest in Thomas, I'd say. But do us a favor and hit these likes. I mean, we got a big crew out here. 1250 watching,
Woo!
575. We got to get way up there. And then the promo code we still have, the NFL 15. It's about the last chance to get in. I'll do it, Crane. I mean, it's
that's good because I
turned
always
into my
forget.
specialty. NFL 15. It's going to be the last opportunity to use that. Gets you 15% off your monthly package at Run Pure Sports. As long as you do not cancel, that 15% will apply month after month. And like we always say, we're a little bit different than the other sites where when a new sport starts, we don't charge you more. The membership at Run Pure gets you access to everything on our website regardless of the time of year. So head on over, get in. Gonna get some winners here. I mean, tons of premium content already on the website, a lot of bets too on the bet side loaded up. So head on over to Run Pure Sports, and like we've been saying, Tuesday prices will be going up a little bit. So now is the time to get in at the cheapest rate ever.
Yes, sir. I'm awfully glad Hoop does that because you guys have this spiel down, and I always forget to do that stuff.
Just toss it my way.
I'm terrible at it. So it's not you guys. It's just Hoop.
It's like when I used to do the XM show. They'd be like during commercial, "Hey, Crane, we need you to record a promo." Ooh, I don't know. This could be rough. One other guy in this game, Kyle Pitts. I'm going to play him every slate, every season or all season. So I don't hate Kyle Pitts in this spot either. And Tony, if you like the Falcons a little bit, you got to like Pitts.
Yeah, I mean, I love Pitts, and I don't know. I could play him with Olave. Nice little mini stack there.
It's not a bad one. Just saying, it's not something that I would ignore. Another guy I'm not going to ignore is the quarterback in this next game, and I ain't talking about Joe Flacco. It's the Ravens at the Jets, a 44-point total. Baltimore 6.5-point favorites. We're still waiting on the J.K. Dobbins news. Am I seeing that right? Where we haven't gotten it yet?
It's like the only guy it seems like that is still somewhat questioned. Yeah.
So if he misses this game, I don't see a way you don't play Lamar Jackson because he's going to get every freaking goal line carry out there. Tony, what are we doing in this game? What jet are you playing? I guess I should ask.
I mean, the Jets are in tough shape, but you got guys like Elijah Moore that Baltimore always plays aggressive on defense, literally always takes chances, tries to make plays, which opens up big plays from receivers. So in Flacco, even though he's terrible, he does throw a decent deep ball to a guy like Elijah if they get a little pump fake, bites on it on the defense like they love to. I could see Elijah having a big game here with similar to how you were talking about Olave, where just 3-4 catches even go to the house. I like him a little bit as a sneaky play. Not a ton else in this game though. I mean, if I played Lamar, I would play, which I'm not saying I'm not. He is a good play today. He's not my favorite, but he's a good play. I would put him with Bateman or Andrews, obviously. Andrews I probably like a little bit more just because of how many good receivers are in the mid-range. But Bateman should be pretty low owned, even when you factor in people that are playing Lamar. So I can't see him really getting above like 10%. So
I mean, Hoop, I don't mind. I don't mind playing Lamar naked.
You definitely can. I mean, like in a big tournament, I don't still think it's right, but that's just my personal opinion.
I think you can do it. I mean, the way to do it is obviously got to have some other correlation involved with like another game. If you do go, naked, I wouldn't just play him.
The main point though, I think is just like, why do we want to play? Why do we not want to play Andrews or Bateman?
You're banking on without Dobbins. I think that is an important point. Like you're banking on him scoring a couple touchdowns on his feet, and then you're good, which can't happen. But more times than not, pairing him with a guy like Andrews, I think is the way to go. But without Dobbins, more work for him probably at the goal line. Good spot here. Obviously, I think Lamar's a very fine option for fantasy. I mean, these quarterbacks, the pricing's soft overall. I mean, we really haven't got into that. I mean, it is very soft, despite there not being a ton of like free squares. Week one of NFL season, there's usually a ton of just free squares, elite plays.
It's a little strange. Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird. Like that's not here this week, which is good because, that makes the game more exciting for fantasy purposes. But yeah, I mean, on Lamar, Mark Andrews, the other guy that I think is interesting is this Isaiah Likely should be on the
Stop
field.
it. I was just about to make fun of those people.
Okay.
Those are the best ball people. The preseason.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's the team preseason. No, Isaiah Likely.
Snyder's peeling to it as well.
He had a
guarantee Snyder's peeling.
He had a big game in week 3 of the preseason. Lock him in, baby. Like, I'm sorry, but on a big slate, I'm not playing the backup tight end for the Ravens.
I'll give you the flip side, though. So I'll slide in the middle of you two because, first of all, I agree with Crane.
It's a dangerous spot to be in the middle, me and Crane.
I'm making fun of the preseason people for it, but the flip side is he's that min price we like always at tight end, 2,500. Everyone else is 3K. The other positions, running back might even be 4K.
Running back's 4K. That's still a lot to pay for a zero.
I mean, you look good though. 2,500 zero doesn't kill you though. I know we need the 47X, but the 2,500 zero does not.
0 times 2,500 is 0, buddy. I got bad news
zero.
for you.
Damn
it! I see your belt in the background there. I don't know how I missed that before. I like that. It's a good. The workbench and the belt. Well done.
Yeah, that's my 2 pieces behind each shoulder. The bench and the belt.
Bench and belt.
Oh man. All right. Well, I think we've spent enough time on this. I don't hate Elijah Moore either. He's just,
especially if you're playing Lamar with like a piece. I think he's just. A lot of people will run back with him, but still, I think it's necessary.
I think in this game I'm just going to play Lamar and move on. Basically, because I'm paying up in a few other spots, I don't have the space to pay for Andrews. Like it's
DC in the chat just said Snyder was peeling hard to Likely. I believe that.
And then the next guy says, "Oh snap! I'm embarrassed for asking about Likely." Yeah, that's all right. So this one dude keeps talking about how much Tyler Croft I have, and the answer is none. Yeah,
who's
exactly.
he play for now?
I swear to you, I don't know.
He's the is he the Cardinals? I don't know. I'm so bad at crap like this.
Is he playing for Ertz is likely to play?
No, it's Sam Fran, Kittle out. But isn't don't they still have what's his name? Cole Kmet, right? Or no, that's on the other side. I'm a disaster. So crap.
That's the Bears. Anyways, so we are the most informed show on the internet. So make sure you keep checking us out.
That's why people come.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not messing with anybody in that San Francisco passing game today. Like Trey Lance has to show me something first. All right, let's move on to the Steelers and the Bengals, the game that Tony's certain to love. It's 45.5 total. The Bengals 7-point favorites. We got Mitch Trubisky. We got Tony's boy Joe Burrow. And look, this game has 4 receivers that I'm never going to argue with playing, like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. I think you can play on any slate. I also think they're a little too expensive for this slate. Hoop, we're going to start with you this time. Like, what are we doing with this game? Because I don't have a ton of interest here. Maybe that's a mistake.
I look at Jamar Chase on DK at 7.1. It's a really good price tag. T. Higgins at 6.1, really good price tag. I mean, you can stack those guys with Burrow, and you're not paying like a premium at all. 6.4 for Burrow, 7.1 for Chase, 6.1 for Higgins. The issue I have with the Bengals is I think they just beat the shit out of the Steelers. Like, I think the Steelers are going to be terrible. I think the Bengals absolutely roll in this game, which loses that appeal of stacking the game. So I'm fine going Burrow, Chase, Higgins, but my favorite play here by far is Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon has a really big game here at home against the Steelers. I look at the Steelers team, Mitchell Trubisky starting at quarterback. That does not sound very appealing for DFS purposes. Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, I think big downgrades because of Trubisky at quarterback. Najee's looking like a guy that's going to get some ownership. But
Trubisky can't be worse than Roethlisberger.
I mean, at least Roethlisberger knew what to, like, those dump offs to Deontay and the short stuff. Like, what Trubisky, like, what the hell is he going to do out there? Like, he's going to
chop, baby. That's what Mitch does.
You're on Trubisky?
No, I'm not on.
Okay.
I'm absolutely not on Trubisky. I'm just saying that, like, I think he's an upgrade from Ben Roethlisberger. That's all.
Ooh, I don't know about that.
That's a low bar to clear. That's
True.
a really low bar to clear. All right, Tony, what are we doing in this spot?
Yeah, first of all, I love the Bengals, obviously, but I think Pittsburgh sucks, so I'm definitely on board with Hoop there. And I just think I went on that Tuesday show with Ryan Harris. If you didn't watch that, check it out because it's going to be a good segment each week. In the trenches, we called it. And his favorite spot of the week, which caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting it, was the Bengals O-line to dominate Pittsburgh's D-line. And I brought up how good a couple of the guys for Pittsburgh were. Watt and whatever the other dude's name is that I'm totally spacing right now, but he didn't worry at all. Like, he was not remotely worried about Watt. So that gave me a lot of positivity about the Cincinnati offense. Most weeks I will like Burrow, Chase, Higgins, like Crane said, and I would never, even today, I wouldn't argue with it. I mean, I might even have a stack of that myself, but I'm more on the Mixon side like Hoop today. I think they're going to beat him up inside a little bit. And I think Mixon might end up low owned too for the most part. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, like 10% or so probably.
Yeah, which is awesome, I think, for him. So I'm on that side, and I basically agree with what both of you guys said. I wouldn't argue with a stack of anything in this game, though. I think it could get more extra points that we're not used to seeing with a Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. Cincinnati pounded them twice last year, and they got better. I don't really see any reason it would change today.
All right, let's move on to our next game, and it's a game that I feel like I'm missing out on something because I think I should have exposure to it, and I just don't. It's the Patriots at the Dolphins, 46-point total.
Just got rolled out, I think. Maybe.
Dobbins is out. It's Lamar season, baby.
I don't know. I'm not exactly in the zone with my computer here, but I seen the projection guy removed, so I think he might be out.
The chat will let us know, and
yeah, he's out.
Okay, so yeah, J.K. Dobbins is out once again. I think Lamar Jackson, Mike Davis going to get the goal line carries? I don't think so. I think it's going to be Lamar.
Is he really
season.
the guy that's going to get the carries now?
It's
like
Mike Davis and I forget who the other guy is, but it's nobody I'm interested in at the goal line. So yeah,
how are they going to get to the goal line?
Freaking Lamar running for 150 yards.
Likely. Very
Stop.
likely.
Very
likely that Isaiah gets him down the field.
I think it's unlikely. Hey,
yeah, we got the puns rolling.
That's right. We are on fire. The dad jokes for days. All right, Patriots at the Dolphins, 46-point total. The Dolphins 3.5-point favorites. Tony, we know the Patriots like to take away the top weapon on a team. That's the passing game for Miami, even though Tua kind of sucks. They got Tyreek, they got Jalen Waddle. The problem is the running backs here are a complete and utter disaster. Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Myles Gaskin. I don't know who the hell to play. I can't help but think one of them's going to do well, but I don't know who it's going to be. Tony, what are you doing in this game?
I'm passing it to Hoop to find some plays because I'm
Tony's looking at me. Don't start with me here, man. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I'm definitely not playing New England. New England's the worst team in football, I think.
They're bad. They're going to be bad. I think Mac Jones sucks.
I think he sucks too, and I don't like anything. The only thing I like about them is maybe their defense, and if that's the only thing I like, then I'm not going to like Miami too much. This is just an easy fade game for me, totally crossing it off.
Hoop, what about you? Same?
Yeah, I wish I could help for entertainment purposes, but I mean, we tried the Jacoby Myers thing a ton last season. I don't think it ever worked. Like once.
Really?
Did it?
No, I just mean really. You tried it a lot last year.
Yeah,
you guys did need me here, man.
Yeah, I know, and thank you. I mean, now that you're back, you can right the ship and get us away from guys like Jacoby. But remember, the big thing was like the touchdown thing. You could never score a touchdown, and I think he finally scored one at one point, but he was really cheap on FanDuel like all season, and people, I guess, thought he was better, including me, than he really is. But he sucks, and man, it's just two teams that are just willing to muddy up a game and win gross. And with Tyreek there, I don't think it really changes anything. So I have no plays here.
Yeah, in the chat, Chase Edmonds ain't bad today. He's cheap, and I get it. I just think this is a slate where I don't want to mess with Chase Edmonds. Like,
yeah, you're
they're
definitely not playing that.
Yeah,
just say
yeah. Like, I mean, I get the play in theory because I think Miami's going to be able to run on them. I just think they're going to run it with 3 dudes. So if 3 guys are running the ball, like, I don't want to mess with it. All right, another game I don't want to mess with would be the Jaguars at the Commanders. It's a 44-point total. Washington, they are 3-point favorites. Jaguars running back situation, Etienne and Robinson, I'm taking a wait-and-see approach. I don't hate Christian Kirk in this spot. Antonio Gibson, I also don't hate, though apparently he's getting ownership, and I liked him a lot more when nobody was playing him. Tony, this is a game I'm struggling with, man, because I might not play a Washington pass catcher all year because Carson Wentz makes Mac Jones look like Tom Brady. Like, Carson Wentz is terrible. So I don't know, man. I'm not messing with this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think you were overselling it too in that XM show too that I was listening. Like, it's one thing to say.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you. Yeah, I forgot it was on and we were driving and it just randomly popped up. It was pretty cool. But I mean, to say Carson Wentz sucks is fine. I mean, I've already taken the L on it. I think he sucks too. But you were like talking about his arm strength. His arm is not the issue. He's got a good arm. He's a
quarterback that sucks. His arm is the issue.
He's a moron, but it's not arm strength. Like, he can chuck the ball. He's just bad. He makes bad decisions.
He can chuck it 10 yards. Oh,
and he's got McLaurin. Like, yeah, I mean, McLaurin can be played any week, I think, just because of upside. He can catch the ball, take it to the house. I mean, that's what I look for. I like him. Travis Etienne is definitely going to break a slate.
He's absolutely going to break a few slates
2 or 3 times a year. I don't know if it's going to be today, but he's going to be a guy that I play a little bit of every week just because I'm telling you, we'll see it. Crane just said it. I said it. He's going to get a screen. He's going to go to the house. He's going to do that 2 times in a game. So at some point, he's going to have 35 points, fantasy points, at least a couple times this year. The flip side is he's going to have games that he doesn't do good at times too, which makes him a good tournament play every week for me. Christian Kirk's going to be pretty popular in this game at 5,100. I think he's a decent play too. To me, this game looks just a great mini stack type game where you play Gibson or McLaurin, you play Etienne or Kirk, and kind of just throw that in with your favorite team. I think it's a decent mini. So I wouldn't full stack it or anything, or I don't love any of the pieces. But in a tournament, I wouldn't be shocked if a few of these guys win someone a milli today.
I mean, the one guy that I'm kind of eyeing in this game is Christian Kirk, because I don't know who the hell else Jacksonville's supposed to throw it to. Like, Etienne will get some catches, but Marvin Jones hasn't been good in 3 years. Zay Jones hasn't been good longer than that. They have nobody else to catch the ball hoop. Like, is Christian Kirk a guy at 5'1" that you're interested in?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton in this game. And one thing just to circle back, Crane, you talked about in that last game, us needing you last season to kind of get us off plays like Jacoby Myers. Last year at this exact time, Mr. Big T, Big Tone, was trying to convince us to bet Carson Wentz to win the MVP award in the NFL. Talk about needing you. Like, where were you?
This is the worst take, though. And this, I hate when people talk. It's a 50-1 freaking bet, and people act like it was even money. He was going to a new team. For the record, too.
Did it win?
Oh, so it was a bad bet because it didn't win at 50-1, Crane. This is the worst hoop take ever on this show.
Hey, you know what?
There's been a lot. I mean, did you already forget about Michael Thomas in the first game?
Said, did it win?
You did go for the 37X, which I respect.
I just want to throw in one more thing. I think Matt Ryan this year is just as good of a bet going to the Colts.
You just like Colts quarterbacks?
They're
keep this moving, Crane. Crane, keep it moving.
Well, I'm sorry you guys only bet minus 200 favorites. Oh, okay. 50-1. And by the way, last year I did hit the Joe Burrow Offensive Player of the Year. Don't make me go down the list. I won like $80K at the sports book with these bets. So, like, come on.
What about the NFL MVP award? How much did you win on that?
I lost $2,000 or $1,000. Whatever I bet on. What I bet? $2,000. I lost $2,000. I lost my 50-1 bet.
I will say, so the chat, we got a guy, Christian Kirk is not a good play. Can't trust Lawrence. Didn't show any real improvement.
That's
at the end of the season.
Guy.
Yeah, he's definitely a preseason guy. Here's the thing, like dudes like Trevor Lawrence that have a big boy pedigree, I'm just going to keep betting on. Like, I don't care if he sucked in his first year. Like, dudes like that get better. They improve, especially in the offseason. Like, and they're going to throw the ball. Like, there's no way they have Trevor Lawrence first overall pick last year, and they're like, no, we're just going to run the ball 50 times. Like, that ain't happening. Christian Kirk might see 8-9 targets in this game. I'm playing Christian Kirk. And by the way, Kirk's good.
Why do people assume Lawrence? First of all, Lawrence was horrible last year, terrible. But the team was a disaster. The Urban Meyer disaster. Like, give him another. If he sucks again this season, then we can start to kind of push him to the side a little bit. But we got to give him more of a rope than just last season.
Just every rookie quarterback sucks.
Yeah,
all of them. That's it. But Matt Jones, he actually sucks. All right, let's go to San Francisco and Chicago. It's a 40.5-point total. San Francisco 6.5-point favorites. I know there's going to be a little Elijah Mitchell love today. Let's see who else. I know the chat apparently likes Tyler Kroft for reasons I don't totally understand. But Tony, your boy Kittle is out. I'm sorry. How are you doing?
Yeah, it is a little alarming that he's hurt already this year, which he usually gets hurt midseason or something because he's so physical. Sucks he's out. But, man, I'm not – just for the sake of speeding the show along, I hate this game. The weather sucks here too. I'm in Chicago right now. Weather is not great outside. I don't know. I don't see anything in this game you need to go to.
Get in an Uber. Come about 6 hours south. I'm here for you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. Hoop, there's just not a chance you're playing anybody in this game. I don't even know why I'm asking.
Yeah, I just don't even like teams in going to Chicago to play. It's a tougher environment. The weather sucks here, typically with the wind, and now you add some potential rain. And the only thing I'd potentially play would be like Cole Kmet as a cheap tight end, but not excited about that. I mean, this.
How much is he on? How much is he?
3.7. I mean, Fields isn't good, but I don't know. I mean, sure, maybe Kmet, but no thanks here.
I mean, you can play either defense. Like I know we don't really give out defense takes on this show, but like you can definitely play either defense.
While we're at 669 likes, Hoop, we need to give out a ticket right today. We need to.
Yep. Yeah, we're going to give away a $333 Wildcat baby. Cat, not wild card. Wildcat ticket today during the show. The one stipulation is you need to be in the live show chat in our Discord. So you need to be a member at Run Pure Sports. If you're not, you can sign up and get into the Discord with that promo code NFL15. But you need to be in the live show chat, and we'll pick a winner from there. I don't know, like say something funny, I guess. Maybe something related to the Morning Wood. Maybe your favorite Morning Wood memory. How about that? And
I like that.
One. Yeah, right. Yeah. So your favorite Morning Wood memory. You can't steal from Landa though. You can't steal from Landa. That's the one thing. He already has 10 of them out there, so you got to get creative. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do it. So get that Discord.
I just hopped in the Discord chat too. I'm in there. I'm in the Discord chat. I'm in the YouTube chat. I'm hosting you guys. Like, you got to be impressed. Like, for somebody that hasn't worked in 3 years, I'm doing okay. I still can't handle the promo shit, but Hoop, I'm glad you got that. And guys, if you got that, if you're enjoying the show, big red button right here. Click the like. We would really, really appreciate it. Helps us out. All right, let's move.
VIP says promo code is screw Aliana. New promo.
Eliana, baby, get it done. All right, Browns at Panthers, 42-point total. God, there are a lot of low totals this week. Like I like the weeks when we had like a bunch of 50-pointers. It's 20.5 for the Browns, 21 implied for the Panthers. It's Jacoby Brissett versus Baker Mayfield. Get excited, everybody. Tony, this seems like your kind of game. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, it is a rough spot. You got McCaffrey that is definitely going to get ownership, and I can't totally disagree with it. But again, you're going to find a spot today in tournaments where you got a lot of low totals that could play super ugly getting ownership, and then we have some game stacks and stuff in the afternoon that could go crazy. So it's going to be all how you determine you're going to build your lineups like usual. But this game looks – I can't imagine playing any Browns guy like whatsoever. Jacoby at quarterback, there's just no way. So McCaffrey would be the only guy for me. I guess you could put DJ Moore in like the 150 bucket just because he's pretty good and Baker's going to chuck it around a little bit. But for me, no. I mean, there's no core plays or anything here. McCaffrey would be the best play, obviously, but he's going to be popular.
Yeah, I'm not playing McCaffrey today? Like, Hoop, I mean, obviously you're going to be playing a lot of cash because that's how you roll. Like, was McCaffrey one of the first guys in your lineup?
On DraftKings at 8.5K, I mean, it's just a cheap price tag for a guy that we know gets, all the work. So in cash games, yeah, I mean, I can see in tournaments getting away from him just because there's a lot of good running backs. And, we've already touched on some, and we'll get to more as the show goes on. So it's unique this week where I think we have a lot of options at running back. To me, it's the most loaded position on the slate. So I don't think he's an absolute must, but 8.5K for him is risky. But there's a big question mark. I mean, I just love how everyone immediately assumes the Panthers are going to be better with Baker Mayfield. Like, what has anyone seen from Baker Mayfield to make you think?
The win total went up a full win after they signed him.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. This he was like one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL last season, and there's just no excuses for it. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I will take an L unlike Big T. So if I'm wrong, I'll come on here and say, yeah, I was wrong. But man, like, I don't think this team's going to be very good. Everyone's like, oh, DJ Moore is going to be great now with Baker. Like,
I love DJ Moore, man. Like
every year, I'm a DJ Moore guy too. I'm playing more today. I mean, I'm Rob. Robbie. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Throbby for Robbie.
Yeah. I mean, the Wood can't survive without Throbby Robbie. I mean, maybe he turns around for us this year. So I am going to play some.
You're making a bet you can't win though, because Carolina can't be worse than last year. So no matter what, they're going to be better.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, what's better? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, when Vegas moves the team total up a win, I pay attention. Like Vegas, very clearly
be better than those bombs. I mean,
he's got to be better than Sam Darnold.
You remember him last year? He was brutal.
But the Browns have no receivers, and he was hurt.
Jarvis Landry.
Exactly. That's
Landry's my boy. Landry's my boy.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play more. I'll have some Throbby, even McCaffrey for sure, but Baker sucks.
So we've had a few fun submissions on the favorite Wood crew. We've had a couple guys say that my favorite one was when Crane replaced Holden. 37X.
I knew you'd like that one.
when Hoop made fun of a guy for taking his wife to go see Hamilton.
That could potentially be the winner, because that is man, I can't imagine. I mean, we pounded Junior for a while on that one, and someone had his back a little bit. I think Holden someone had his back. Maybe I could be wrong on that, but
it wasn't me, so
I know it wasn't you. I know it wasn't you.
So a few months ago I took my girlfriend to see Hamilton, so I can't even.
Oh fuck, man! Why did we bring him back, Tony? Why did we bring him back? You missed it. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
He said he took his girlfriend to Hamilton recently. Yeah. Where's Holden? Where's Holden? Holden, right this ship. Come on.
The problem is Holden was like elk driving around looking at elk like 2 weekends ago. So that's not exactly better than Hamilton.
Oh, you know what? It is that time of year for Holden too. Remember his big take last year? The pumpkin patches. He loves going to pumpkin patches.
Okay, I ain't there. I ain't about that.
All right, you're back.
We had another guy mention the time I came on with the child-sized St. Louis Blues hat.
Oh, that's why is it not on right now? That's the real question.
I gotta find that thing. It's all busted. I'm gonna give it to my kid though. He'll have no idea why he's wearing it, but he's gonna be rocking that thing. But all right. So before we get on to the next game, I want to talk about members never win, because members they win big prizes nightly. Tweet at us or Instagram post your screenshot on your Instagram story and tag us at Run Pure Sports. And we're going to repost your story. Obviously, if you're winning a little bit, hashtag members never win. And if you have the Run Pure Sports logo as our avatar on the screenshot, we're going to be picking random winners who are going to win Run Pure Sports swag. So make sure you add our logo as your avatar. Again, tweet, Instagram at Run Pure Sports. Let us know when you're winning big. And of course, here's some names that have won. We got Gav Fitz 23 winning the 5K soccer, Sevens Vox 20K tennis. I'm so jealous of that one. I was trying to win that 20 spot all freaking US Open. It didn't work. We got DCats 15, 27,000 in baseball. Mac 2 Services 50K in baseball. JJ 33K in college football. Golly, guys, you guys are crushing it. Simo, the live final for 25K. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Big T. 490. Fuck it, I'm calling it 500K. I'm not doing that.
I don't know why they do that anyways. That annoys me too, because they give you the 5,000 early, so you're getting 500,000. But like, since they paid you early, they changed the. That's so annoying.
Yeah. No.
it's
He
so
got
stupid.
Tony wins $500K, and I'm happy for you, man. It was so I had no idea that it had happened till the night later too. I was just scrolling Twitter. I'm like, oh, look, Tony won $500,000.
You did send me the latest tweet, the text of anybody.
Yeah,
it was like a full day later. I get the text from Craig.
I'm like, yeah,
I just
congrats,
saw
man.
this. Congrats.
Yeah. Dude, that's how I am, man. I'm an old man. I'm like, oh, happy birthday. And it's like
It
a month
felt
later.
good though. It came in its own window. Like I had all of them in a string, and then it came in by itself, so it got an appropriate response.
You did say thank you, sir. Wait, what's the inappropriate response?
Not responding.
Yeah, that is actually that's the Tony special right there. All right, let's go to Colts at the Texans, 45.5-point total. The Colts 7-point favorites. Jonathan Taylor is going to be incredibly popular today. Michael Pittman on the Colts, 5-5, going to be incredibly popular. Dameon Pierce maybe getting a little bit of ownership on the other side. This is kind of a Tony spot. Like I want to talk to you about the ownership here, what we do in this situation, because with Taylor and Pittman soaking up a lot of ownership, obviously they're great plays. NFL week 1, though, when nobody knows anything, I'm inclined to kind of fade him. What are you doing in this spot, Tony?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't love this, but I don't love Jonathan Taylor this year.
Really? How?
That much. I mean, I feel like he's going to be too popular for a guy that
spoken like a guy who didn't play best ball. I'll tell you that.
That's true. Even in like drafts and stuff, like I wouldn't have taken Taylor number 1 for sure. I just don't. I don't know. He's fine, but I just don't love the efficiency of Indianapolis. Like they love to run the ball. They get leads and they sit on it. I don't know. They frustrated me later. Maybe it was just the wins 50-1 stuff that pissed me off. But I don't love this game. I think Pierce is a bad play too. He's an example of best ball. The same thing. Best ball preseason. Everyone loves this Pierce, and he's going to be a workhorse back, I think, getting most of the work because freaking
the Pierce guys are already victory lapping. Like the dude's never played a game.
I just don't. And Indianapolis is tough, so I just don't see it. I doubt I'll have much Pierce, but he is getting a lot of love because that price point, $4,800 for a guy that's going to get a lot of work. That makes sense to me. I get why people are doing it. I just don't love the spot when we have other really good running back plays on the board. Cooks, I think, is kind of sneaky. No one's going to play him. He still gets that upside ability every single week. So I think he's a good play. Pittman is what he is. Like, he's a good play. He's going to get a lot of targets. People are going to love him, and I can't disagree. So, I mean, if you want to play Pittman, play him. He's a good play.
Yeah, Hoop, speaking of guys that are going to play Pittman, I'm sure Hoop is playing Pittman today.
Guaranteed Hoop's playing.
The price is too good to pass up. I mean, for sure. Definitely in cash games, 5.5K, Michael Pittman. I mean, I think you definitely play him at that price point. I kind of agree. I agree with the Jonathan Taylor take from Big T. I mean, I honestly don't know how popular he will be today, to be honest with you. I think more people
he'll be like 20% or so.
You think? Like most people, if deciding between him and McCaffrey, are going to go to McCaffrey, I think.
You think?
I do. Oh yeah.
Man,
yeah. On DK for sure. Like on DK for sure with the pass catching upside. So I think there will be a big discrepancy. I just don't like him in this offense. I agree with what Tony kind of said. And then it's just like Cooks on the other side. Pierce, I kind of like a little more on FanDuel, where if he does get in the end zone, that's enough at his price point, like mid fives. On DraftKings, I think you're going to need your running backs to put up some big boy scores today. So I just don't know if he has that upside. So more of a FanDuel play for me. And then Cooks for sure. I mean, he typically falls into this really good game script. And I mean, they still don't have any pass catchers looking at this roster. So Cooks is fine. Pierce on FanDuel, Pittman on DK, and then honestly, probably not a lot of Taylor for me.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the receivers on the other side. Had I been on this show last year, I would have been talking about Nico Collins every freaking week, and I would have lost every freaking week.
Yeah, thank good you weren't on.
Oh no, I helped you out, man. I really helped you out. Yeah. I don't know. Like in tournaments, like you were talking about Pierce, and he's 4.8K. He's going to start for the Texans. I don't know. I'm seeing him right around 10% or so right now, which isn't terrible. Here's the thing, though. I have kind of this theory when I play baseball, where if there are a shitload of stud pitchers on the slate, I just go double stud pitcher because at least two of those guys are going to go bonkers. And it kind of feels like that with running backs this week, where there are just so many running backs. in good spots. And then Hoop, I see you nodding. Tony, you're not doing anything. So I'm going to go to the guy that agrees with me.
Yeah.
And like, it just feels to me like a spot where I want to pay up at running back.
I mean, there's a lot of really good running back plays. Like I said, we've talked about a bunch of them. We're going to talk about more. You're going to need a big boy score, I think, at running back from both
I don't
your
think
guys.
I don't think Pierce can get it for him.
Yeah, and I agree. And on draft, to me, like I said, though, DraftKings I think is a little bit different than FanDuel because the full PPR. If Pierce does find the end zone, that's probably good enough on FanDuel. On DraftKings, if he finds the end zone, that's definitely not good enough. You got to do more. And I fully agree with you. 2 of these guys, 3 of these guys, 4 of them, maybe more, are going off in a big way.
So the flip side, though, to your guys' argument is everyone's going to build similar to that because of how many cheap receivers there are.
Okay.
So the one thing a guy like Pierce, and I don't love Pierce, I agree with everything you guys said, to be honest, but just the flip side, because we do have big tournaments today, is go down at running back a little bit with people like Pierce, go up at receiver for, I don't know, Devontae Adams, like stud guys up top. It gives you a totally different roster build with similar upside. And I do agree with FanDuel. I always forget to talk about FanDuel. So Hoop, I'm glad he brought that up.
The dude just won a FanDuel tournament. Oh, we're going to talk about FanDuel.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said that, huh? But I do think Pierce is a much better play on FanDuel. So yeah.
All right, well, let's go to a game.
I love FanDuel, by the way. That's a good upgrade.
Hey, FanDuel. All right, let's go to a game where everybody's going to be playing the quarterback. It's the Eagles and the Lions, a 48.5-point total. The Eagles 5.5-point favorites. Jalen Hurts, he is your chocolate quarterback this week. I'm sure Hoop's playing him in cash and tournaments. I guarantee Tony's not playing any Jalen Hurts in tournaments. Tony, you're not touching Jalen Hurts, are you?
I mean, I don't love him. He's not my favorite. I can't guarantee like I'm full fading him or anything. Maybe I'll have him on.
You heard it here. If Tony has a single Jalen Hurts lineup,
that's why I wanted to make it clear. He's definitely not my favorite. Like he will definitely not be on my main team more than likely. But I mean, maybe I have a little bit of him in my 150s just because he does have a lot of upside if things go right. When he starts running, he's got some receivers now. I can definitely see why he's the chalk cash game type play today because he just gives you a big floor, big ceiling. So it makes sense to me. Even this game, the weird thing about this, we talked about it on the Print Factory too, but I'm really high on both of these teams for the season. But today the matchup just is weird to me, and I don't love how these teams line up with each other. So I think it could play uglier than people think. I actually like Detroit's defense a little bit.
Yes, come on down, baby. Little min price.
Yeah, 2K. I like them a lot at 2K. It's such good leverage. And what do we know about Hurts? We do know he can run. We
that he
know
sucks.
all that he cannot throw the football, though. He could easily make mistakes.
And he might only throw the football 20 times, which is going to be an issue if you play the Lions team.
Especially if they're winning, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to keep chucking if they're winning.
Yeah, yeah. But I like the idea of a cheap Lions defense. Hoop, man, I don't even know why I ask. We know what you're doing. Talk to me about Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I mean, another guy that's, if you're playing cash games, a safe option. I mean, he's not a good quarterback. I mean, he's a crappy quarterback. Maybe he's improved this year. I mean, potentially, but he's one of those guys that
can be worse.
For you. He didn't get better throwing it.
Huh?
He's never going to get better throwing it.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's a crappy real life quarterback, a great fantasy quarterback. We saw it a ton last year where he's just sucking all game. His team's out of contention. He gets like 2 rushing touchdowns in the fourth quarter and has a great fantasy game. That's perfect for fantasy. Sucks for Eagles fans. Same thing this week. I mean, it doesn't change. He's in a dome here. Good price tag. He's like the cheapest top tier quarterback. Like if you tier all these quarterbacks together, he's clearly for fantasy purposes a top tier guy. He's the cheapest of all of them, which means he's going to be the most popular. The upside's tough to ignore though. So, and he gets a guy like AJ Brown, which could help him, bail him out a little bit. So fine with Hurts. I'm not going bonkers, not going, way over the field on Hurts, but I do like that Lions defense call. Lions should be somewhat improved. I would temper my expectations if you do believe that though, because the Lions, everyone says they're improved every year and they suck every year. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're not as improved as people think, but 2K defense against a guy that is not a good real life quarterback, I think the Lions, and you're getting the leverage too. Hurts is going to be very popular. You get the leverage right away by playing that Lions defense. Amon-Ra St. Brown in play, Swift, another guy that had good games last season when the Lions were getting their ass kicked, a lot of dump offs. If you are playing Hurts, I love that Swift run back. Goddard at tight end, fair price tag for him. There's some appeal here for sure.
Yeah, like Swift feels like you're not getting a discount, and everybody else in this slate, you feels like you're getting a discount. So I don't know.
No reason to play him though.
No, I get it. I totally understand that. On your one Jalen Hurts team, you can go ahead and play him. It's a lot of running in one game. That's a lot of running in one game. But I'm with you. I like the line.
Seriously though, the best thing you can do in week 1, in my opinion, is play the guys that look overpriced, that are talented, because we all know the guys that are underpriced. You can go to whatever projection source you're using. You'll see a million guys underpriced. So when you see a stud that looks overpriced, I think he's a great play. We got how many million makers on the board today? Friggin' like 10 of them, it feels like. These guys just have to be good plays in big field tournaments. They just have to be.
Hey guys, if you like what you're seeing, or even if you don't like what you're seeing, click that like button. We'd really appreciate it. Get us up to 1,000. It's chat. Let us know when we get to 1,000 likes. We're getting there, baby, because we get the wood back, and that is how we roll. All right. Let's get to fun time, because those games are, if this is a slate, by the way, where if you're winning money early, don't feel good about it. Like, if you're winning money before this Raiders-Chargers game, before the Packers-Vikings, before the Chiefs-Cardinals, I don't want to see any early screenshots today. I don't want to see anybody, man, if all these other games do nothing, I'm going to win all the money, because you're going to be struggling. Because our next game this was a game that it wasn't quite as on my radar as it should have been. And as the week has gone on, I've decided that I'm making stacking this game an absolute priority. It's the Raiders at the Chargers. It's a 52-point total. The Chargers 3.5-point favorites. And we got a lot to like in this game, Tony. And these guys are priced up a little bit more than the Chiefs guys, which is why I think we're going to see them a little lower owned. But Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. Like, Tony, there's
Speaking
a
of
lot.
that, Crane.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's time, boys.
Are we putting on the jersey?
It's time.
Oh, that's good. He's not their number one anymore. You might as well put the jersey back.
Perfect. That's what we love.
You got to be like the only guy in Michigan who owns a Hunter Renfrow jersey.
Such a good story though, too, because I got like a ton of them. Like we talked about in the show, because you couldn't find them. Like impossible to find. The Run Pure crew came through, and now I own a lot of Hunter Renfrow jerseys.
You own like you own half the Hunter Renfrow jerseys in the world. The other half is owned by Hunter Renfrow. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk Raiders and Chargers. Tony, this is a game I'm making sure I stack up. I'm going to have a lot of Devontae Adams. I'm going to have a lot of Eckler, Allen, Mike Williams. Like, I love this spot, Tony.
Yeah, and I'm going to shock the world one of these weeks when I come on with a Renfrow jersey, just like Hoop.
Oh, let's go. Well, hey, I know your address, and I have some supplies.
If I don't get a Hunter Renfrow jersey, that's definitely two sizes too
we
small
all come
for
on
me.
with the Renfrow jersey.
Yeah, like mine's gonna be a little tight, but it is what it is.
Mine's gonna be a little tight too. We all got Hoop.
Hey, no, that's true, Tony. Tony, it looks like you've lost some weight, buddy. I saw that video.
I'm still plenty fat, man.
I don't know. You're looking a little svelte these days, so I'm impressed. Okay, Tony, talk to me about this game.
In all seriousness, though, my issue with Renfrow last year was that he was their number one. I love him as a number two, though. When you got Adams on the other side, he's just going to be open all game. And this is the problem this is why I picked the Raiders to win the AFC West, the tough division. I'm picking them to win it because I don't see how you're going to stop this offense. You got Waller and Renfrow to go with Adams. I mean, that's nasty. That is as nasty as it gets, and it's going to be hard to defend those guys. So these games like this, you can literally make a case for who on the Raiders side. Like I said, Devontae, you got Renfrow, you got Waller. I'm not going to play Jacobs because I just don't like him.
You don't like Josh. I get it.
Yeah, so I'm playing the receivers. So you got three weapons there, and then obviously the Chargers side: Eckler, Allen, Williams. Even Gerald Everett, I don't hate in the new system. Josh Palmer. You have so many weapons that these are the game stack type games, like Crane said, where this game could go nuts. You could see all the early games play low scoring or somewhat low scoring. And then we got all these high afternoon games in this one. There's weapons all over the place. You're just going to have, if you're fading this game, it's going to be a tough fade all the way around because there's a lot of good players in this game.
If I was doing 150, I would make sure I had at least one guy from both these teams. Like there's just no way of getting around it. Like you said, Tony, like these offenses are absolutely elite. Justin Herbert's one of the favorites to be the MVP this year. You're the second person I've heard mention Gerald Everett, and the first person I thought was joking. So I guess it's a real thing.
Well, why would we not mention him? He's the tight end for this good offense.
He's like the fourth option, man. Like,
but he's still the tight end, though. Yeah,
you're right.
You have routes around. They like throwing to these guys around the red zone. I mean, how many times have we seen Herbert when you got the double stack and he just hit some random dude? It happened all last year. So I mean, I don't love Everett as a player. I do love this offense though. So if you give me the tight end, I mean, I'm okay with that.
All right, Hoop. I'm vetoing any Gerald Everett talk, so he's definitely scoring a touchdown today. But who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I agree with Big Tone on that.
I understand. I
with
feel
Everett.
You know how sometimes you give a take and you just have a feeling it's wrong. Like that's where I'm at with
it. Everett.
But if you like this game,
Everett's a good play.
Yeah, if you like this game, if this is your game.
I'm probably wrong.
But if this is your game, like, why not? Like, that's my question. Like, you like this game.
I guess it's because I'm playing Adams and Eckler in my main lineup, and like that's just what I'm doing. So I can't.
But then you need a cheap tight end if you're going that route. And Mr. Gerald Everett's staring right at you.
I definitely need a cheap tight end. And right now it's Mo Alley Cox. And
what team is he on?
The Colts, baby.
Oh Jesus, he's still on the Colts.
Yep.
One thing though, I'm going to threaten the YouTube chat here a little bit. We got like 1,600 people watching. We got 780 likes. Okay, if we
get them up there,
here it is. If we don't get to 1,000, we're bringing Holden back. Crane out, Holden in. So yeah, you got to get to 1,000.
Oh no, the likes are going to go down to 600 in a second. Everybody's going to take away their likes.
Hoop just overshot the wad too. Holden's going to be back in the mix.
Oh God,
I don't think we can get to 1,000.
Don't do that to me, man.
We're getting to 1,000, and I will say I love Holden. We had a great time on the show, and he's going to pop in here at some point throughout the season and join us. But we got to get to 1,000. So.
It's going to be like week 5, and Simon's going to let Holden on, and he's just going to pop in. Okay, I'm sick of this
Snyder's shit, in the chat. Likely over Cox. How do you feel about that, Crane?
I'm not likely to do that.
That's where you just snap call Snyder and just say, okay, how much? I'll even do it. I'll take Mo Alley over likely Snyder. Slide in, buddy.
This chat's funny.
Mo Alley 2,500 like likely?
No, he's 3,800, but I have the money.
Yeah, double the price.
Same price bracket.
3,400. They're both
34.
They're both cheap. What do you mean? They're in the same price bracket. They're both bargain.
900 isn't the same price bracket.
It is if they're giving me even money. They're giving me even money.
I mean, I don't disagree with that.
Anyways, this game's awesome. Stack it up.
Yeah, in terms of like a game stack, I figured this would be the spot like that everyone goes to, and that it would
it's
be
just
like
more expensive than the Chiefs game.
Yeah. So I think it comes in lower owned than people think, and like a guy like Devontae Adams, I think great play. Obviously, Renfro, not going to be on Jacobs, and then on the other side, you got a ton of plays like Eckler, who I like the price tag 8.2. I like where it's at because it's going to keep his ownership down.
Yeah,
like he's $300 cheaper. McCaffrey's $300 more. People are just going to click McCaffrey over Eckler. So Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams on FanDuel at 6.6K, a really good price tag there. I mean, and his game fits FanDuel as well, where touchdowns are more important. And then you have the tight end, which we're no longer allowed to mention per the host of the show. I think he is in play. It's a great
Gerald
game.
Everett's, he's 100% scoring too.
Oh, for sure now. Yeah. And then Waller too. I mean, Waller I think is a really good play. I think people are kind of forgetting about him a little bit, but I'll have a lot of Waller as well. I mean, this is a very good game, two offenses. I mean, you look at it, the Raiders obviously very improved. Chargers, I think, have a chance to make a run at this whole thing this year. So love this game. A lot of people do, but I don't think it's going to be as owned as we think because, like you said, the price.
All right, Packers and Vikings, 46.5 point total. Minnesota, 1.5 favorites. Justin Jefferson's going to be very popular. Adam Thielen probably isn't going to be popular enough. I'm surprised to see Sammy Watkins as low owned. I kind of thought he would evolve into chalk with Allen Lazard out. I'm looking at this game, Tony. and I see one guy that I love, and it's Aaron Jones, because I think he's going to be the whole offense this year. Tony, talk to me about the Packers and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I like this game. This game, I think, started the week pretty trendy. And then as the week's gone on, I don't think it's as popular as it started the week. And Aaron Jones might be my favorite play.
Baby doll. You get a baby doll in here today.
Like, I haven't talked much about, like, my main team because I haven't necessarily loved anything yet until this game. Like, Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson, I am jamming everywhere. Everyone's talking to me about whoever the cornerback is from Green Bay. What's the good
Jair Alexander?
Yeah, like, he's a beast. I get it, but I'm siding with Justin Jefferson this year. Like, I'm just playing him. Perfect to start my teams with Jefferson and Aaron Jones. That's what I'm going to do. And I like this game, the rest of the pieces, but mainly it's just those two. Mini stack to start my teams. You can play guys like Big Herb. I think he's going to get some attention. Bob Tunyon, I don't think he's the worst play ever now that he's in. I mean, Rodgers has had good history with him. They don't have anyone to throw the ball to. So I wouldn't be surprised if Big Bob goes for 2 touchdowns or something today.
Like, I just think that this Packers team this year is going to try and slow the ball down. And this Vikings team with Dalvin Cook, they're going to run it a lot too. I like the under in this game quite a bit.
Why do you think the Vikings are going to run it with that new coordinator?
Because you still have Dalvin freaking Cook.
You got Justin Jefferson.
I get it. I get it. I just don't think they're going to be as pass happy. And I think the Packers are going to try and slow the hell out of this game. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like
several times they've played too. They've been shootouts. I heard JSU talking about this earlier in the week. Like, just crazy shootouts between these two teams.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't care what happened in 2018. Like,
What about last year? You care about what happened last? You don't care.
Didn't we just talk about nobody knows anything? Didn't we just talk about
but
that?
No one's gonna play it. Like, yeah.
No, I think
Bob Tunyon or freaking Everett. You're making fun of all my tight ends.
If I'm playing Aaron Jones, I can't play Bob Tunyon.
Why not?
And I'm playing Aaron.
This game is not. No one's scoring in this game.
I think it's. I think it's Aaron Jones, and then it's one of the Vikings receivers. I think that's fine. Or Big Irv, who in the chat brought up. Do you like Mo Alley Cox over Big Irv? I like both of them actually. Hoop, talk to me about this game, buddy.
Interesting game, obviously. Lazard being ruled out, has an impact on the wide receiver position. Multiple cheap guys now. Sammy Watkins, though, like you said, the one that no one is really talking about. Dobbs is getting some talk, and then Randall Cobb as well at 3.4K. Both those are fine, cheap wide receivers plays. Sammy Watkins, though, somewhat interesting. I mean, Sammy Watkins sucks, but man, like, somebody has to get it done here at the wide receiver position. I mean, Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball still, so like somebody has to do something. Tanyan, I like that call. Aaron Jones, I hate to just fully agree with you guys, but I think he's probably my favorite play at the running back position as well. 7.4 on FanDuel, super cheap, and then 6.7 on DK, good price tag as well. He just has to be used. The one thing we like with Aaron Rodgers is he develops these connections with guys and he'll just keep going to them. Like, he trusts obviously Aaron Jones more than anyone else on this offense by a wide margin. He's going to be out there a ton. They're going to use him in a bunch of different ways. So like that side of it. And then on the Vikings, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, there's just a lot of appealing plays. If you are going to stack this game up, it's easy because of the cheap pieces on the Packers side. Then you have Jefferson on the Vikings side, Dalvin Cook, who I think is low owned as well. There's 8-9 pieces here that I have interest in.
Okay. Like, I know I'm kind of alone on an island here just playing Aaron Jones, but I'm glad to hear at least Tony, he's one of your favorite plays too. Because I think this dude, he's just going to be the whole offense.
I'm thinking about this game too and listening to you guys talk. One of the things I think I'm good at is listening to people talk and figuring out what to do with it. And listening to you guys talk about it, I think one of the best plays of it. So early in the year, the last couple of years, what did Larry Fitzgerald do? He crushed like 5 straight years as an old dude. Why can't it be Randall Cobb? Aaron Rodgers loves Cobb. And
he's got his props. I don't remember exactly what they are, but they were good. Like, he's got good props.
He's got history with this guy. Cobb's old. He's going to suck this year for the most part, but it's week 1. Why can't he be fresh? Why can't it be the Randall Cobb day at 3,400?
It's going to be.
It could be.
I think I really like Cobb.
Yeah, and I gotta give out shout out to one of my buddies who pointed this out, where Cobb's props are like better than anybody else within $1,000 of them.
It just makes sense, right? Like, why isn't it him today?
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense.
We got him at 41.5 yards, which is, I mean, for a 3.4K guy, really good. And I'm sure the receptions
And like the touchdown prop was like plus 180 or something. Like, it was pretty decent.
His projection's high, man, for 3,400 too. So I think he's a really good play.
Yep. I don't hate that. I don't think I can play him and Aaron Jones together, but I
Cheap
don't
guys you can play with.
Yeah, I
with
guess
him for sure. Because
I get weird about that, man. Like, I'm probably a little too strict about it when I'm multi-entering, but
those
yeah,
random like things are what you're going to ship with today.
All right, let's talk about a play in this next game where people think they're going to ship, and I can't wait to see them do it. The Giants at the Titans. It's a 44-point total. The Titans 5.5-point favorites. And Hoop, I know he's cheap at 6.1K, but why the hell is everybody playing Saquon Barkley?
Oh yeah, you're asking the wrong guy because I'm going to be on him.
Okay. I asked you because I knew you would be
talented. You know, obviously his injury issues. Like, if you want to play a guy with injury issues, like week 1 of the regular season is probably the time to do it at a discounted price point. I mean, is there a risk? 100%. But man, if he's 100% and this offense is just a little bit more improved, the price tag's too cheap. Makes a lot of things work, and you have that upside too with them. Like, there is definitely a big degree of upside if he's 100% and not hurt, which appears to be the case week 1 of the season. So I think that is why people are thinking that, and I'm gonna be on him today. But that's the only piece from this game that I'm gonna be on. Kadarius Toney, maybe he's cheap, 4.1K, and then
definitely cheap.
Yeah, 5.4 or 5.3 on FanDuel. I think that's a standout price tag. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just Barkley here for me.
Okay, so and here's my counterpoint. Tony, there's a chalk running back on a team that has a 19-point total. What are you doing?
First of all, Bobby Boom in the chat making fun of my Raiders pick for they freaking knocked the Chargers out of the playoffs last year. They added Devontae Adams. So get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, Bobby Boom.
Hoop literally just left.
Yeah, get out of here. That's what you should do, Bobby Boom. That's terrible. But this game, I'm with Crane actually in this game. I don't think in Tennessee too. I think Tennessee, people forget they were the 1 seed last year. I don't love them. I never liked them last year even. But at home versus a Giants team that always lets us down, I just don't see it. I think Tennessee just kind of smothers them today. Not much here. I'm not going to play Derrick Henry early in the season either. He's more of let's get 4 or 5 weeks in and then play Derrick Henry. Definitely not playing him, even though I do think he'll be somewhat low owned. And I don't know. I'm not going to play Saquon though. I don't love it. I'm with Crane on this one.
Yeah, I don't hate Derrick Henry as much as you do. Like, you're talking about guys that seem overpriced, like Derrick Henry in that same price point as Jonathan Taylor, as Christian McCaffrey. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be playing Henry as a big home favorite when he might get fed the rock 30 times.
He always gets ownership though. He always 15.
I don't think he can get owner. I mean, I think like 10, 11% today. Like, I don't think he can get a lot. Yeah, because everybody's playing Taylor, everybody's playing McCaffrey. I'm telling you, like, he can't get ownership.
It's all going to be the same range anyways. Like, if it's 12 or it's 16, like, that's the same. I mean,
can I get under 15?
I mean, can I get over 10?
No.
Then no. I do think it'll be like 15 though, if I had to guess. And you think it'll be 10, so I don't know.
I'll take under 13.
I mean, we're splitting hairs.
We are definitely splitting hairs. But like, yeah. Anyways, Tony and I are off Saquon for tournaments. Hoop is on Saquon for cash. And maybe you're on Saquon are you playing Saquon in tournaments too, Hoop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I just think there's a lot of upside.
Okay. All right. Speaking of upside,
and I mean, the thing that sucks, the matchup is obviously not great in Tennessee, but he gets a lot of passes, so in for sure.
Part of the issue for me too is there's just so many guys like Hoop talked about earlier in the show. Like, I just have to narrow it down. It's one of the things I believe in. I just have to fade a few of these guys. That's one of the reasons I'm off him too.
Yeah.
All right. Chiefs Cardinals. We were talking about upside. This game has all the upside. It's 54-point total. Chiefs 6.5-point favorites. We got Mahomes, we got Kyler, you got Juju, MVS, Kelsey, Marquise Brown. Like, Hoop, there's a lot to like in this game, man. Like, this is the other game along with the Chargers game, where if I'm multi-entering, I'm having at least one piece from each side of this.
Yeah, it's a great game, and you got the injury situation, Rondell Moore out, so it opens up opportunities for some other guys on the Cardinal side. I think it boosts for James Conner, obviously Marquise Brown, Zach Ertz. The one thing that just kills me with this game is how bad Kyler Murray is. He is just such a bad one, and he's a Jalen Hurts. He's just a terrible real life quarterback. If the Chiefs put up some points and provide some pressure defensively, the guy crumbles. That being said, I mean, he's crushed in these spots, these high total spots at home. He finds a way to get it done. There is some concern, though, for me here. And, with Marquise Brown being his main guy, concern. Now, I am going to play Murray. I am going to play Brown. I'm going to play Ertz. But I do have some concern on the Cardinal side with Murray at quarterback. The Chiefs, though, it's a different Chiefs team. And, in the past seasons, when you want to stack the Chiefs, it's hard to do because can you get Tyreek? Can you get Kelsey? Well, now you can get these pieces and they're much, much cheaper. I guess one of my hot takes for the season is Juju Smith. I think he's going to absolutely crush here in this Chiefs offense. I think he's going to be one of the top wide receivers in football fantasy wise. I'm not buying the talk from Mahomes that, it's going to be somebody new every week or whatever he said. I think it's Juju Smith. He fits Mahomes' game perfectly with those little small, short, little slant things. The short passes is what Mahomes has kind of developed into the past couple of seasons. We've seen Kelsey crush. We've seen, other guys crush. Juju fits that just perfectly. I think he crushes this season, and super cheap, obviously, week one. He's going to have some ownership, but it's going to be like a long-term play for me. I like Valdez-Scantling, Hardman, love all these pieces. This game, very appealing. I mean, the Chiefs have the highest team total on the slate. They will be popular, but it's a tough spot to avoid for me specifically because of how much I like Juju. So definitely, if deciding, I really prefer the Chiefs side. I do think there's some risk in the Cardinals for the reason I mentioned with, Kyler Murray and then the number one being Marquise Brown. So a little bit of concern, but this game, super appealing.
Yeah, you kind of poo-pooed on Kyler. I don't think he's as bad as you guys do. And I also love him today.
He's good for fantasy. Don't get me wrong. It's a Jalen Hurts situation. Great for fantasy, but when it comes to winning football games,
he's so much better than Jalen Hurts.
Oh, man, they're pretty similar to me.
Kyler. Oh man, I don't know. I think Kyler's got.
You watched the end of last season, Crane?
Yeah, he had a few bad weeks. I've had a few bad weeks too. That's okay.
I mean, they literally couldn't move the ball an inch those last couple of weeks, like literally an inch. They were 3 and out every possession.
Poor Kyler. He just tried to reach up and couldn't get it an inch. That's just how it works for us. That's right. I'm making short jokes on people. What a world. But Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown, I don't know where the hell else he's going to go with the ball. AJ Green is a corpse. I don't like Andy Isabella. That's a name that I've seen a few people mention that I'm just not even going anywhere near that. This is a really easy spot for me. You just play Marquise Brown. I don't know where the hell else he's supposed to throw the ball, and he's still going to throw the ball 35 times. James Conner, that's fine. I have no problem with that. Maybe he falls into the end zone a couple times. Kyler early in the week was my favorite quarterback on the slate. I'm kind of looking at, I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I'm probably leaning toward just playing Kyler or Marquise Brown and figuring the rest out later. Tony, when you look at this game, I know you're going to be on every piece, but who are your favorite pieces in this spot?
You're reaching to assumptions too quick because I don't like the game. I'm very, very low on the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to finish in last place. I don't. Not last place behind the Chargers, Broncos, and just
watch out, Lions! The Chiefs are coming.
AP's coming for Big T.
AFC West last place, not last place in all of football in that division.
That is a really good division.
So I take it you don't like my Juju Smith call.
I don't mind the Juju, actually. Okay. Who else do they have? I think Kelsey's getting older. I think Kelsey's one of the worst plays on the slate today. Everyone's going to play him, and I don't think he's a good play just because you don't know who to put with Mahomes. So they're all going to play Kelsey. I think he's a terrible play. I like Juju, though, with who? The two guys I like are the two guys you guys like are the funny part, Marquise and Juju. Those are the two
See,
guys.
I like it. I like MVS. I want to say I like Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah.
What's wrong with MVS? He's the same.
Well, when you play receiver, you have to catch the football, and he can't.
Look, I tried to make I tried to make Mecole Hardman work for a year, and that didn't work. So I don't care about the catching the football thing. Clearly,
Are we on him this week, Hardman?
No, I'm done. I've quit him. I've quit.
You play Hardman, just unregister.
I've quit like half of this Chiefs offense. I'm never playing Clyde Edwards-Helaire again.
So why are you laughing at me finishing it last? You hate everybody on the team.
I thought you meant in football.
Oh, I work for the damn Browns and teams.
Browns might make the playoffs, man.
Oh my God!
Oh gosh, this show. Are we almost out?
In my mouth.
Are we almost out of time?
Well, we can't be out of time yet because Hoop, you need to tell the people about the NFL 15 code.
Yeah, NFL 15 is the promo code we're running. About last chance to get in using it. It's 15% off any package at Run Pure Sports that is monthly. It includes SaberSim, so you can include SaberSim in that promo as well to get 15% off. It sticks with you month after month as long as you don't cancel. And like we said in the opening, the prices are going up next week. So now is the cheapest time to get in. And Crane, I have a little bit of bad news for you.
We didn't hit
873 likes.
Guys,
so the reunion could be short-lived.
Click the like button or you have to get Holden. That's the rule. Click the freaking like
Simon
button.
did update me. He said it was an immediate 100 like boost as soon as that threat was made.
I knew Craig was drawing dead though. The number was overshot. The people got to come through for him.
Maybe this is just like Hoop wanting to get rid of me. Is this like some?
He went way up into
Hoop's
the
like, well, unless we get 800,000 likes,
we are going to get. The best part is we're going to get to 1,000 easily. I mean, we got
people got to respond for Crane. Come on, people.
1,700 watching, 885. Like, I mean.
1,700. That's a good number, man. I'm glad that the people came out for the first edition of the Morning Wood. Tony, we've talked a lot about the individual games. We've talked a lot about some of our favorite plays. Let's just recap. Who are some of your favorite plays on this slate, Tony?
So my two favorites are in the Minnesota game, Aaron Jones and Justin Jefferson. That's where I'm going to start a lot of my teams. I'm going to narrow the player pool even more than usual today. Just I want to take some stands. There's all these millie makers. That's where I'm starting my teams, but I have some key fades too, like that Kansas City game, like I just talked about. I'm not playing Kelsey. That Kelsey will definitely be my biggest fade of the day. I think everyone's going to play him, and I don't like him that much, so that'll be my big fade.
Who are some of your favorite plays on the slate?
Oh no! First,
he's
picking the Browns. Now we're on mute.
Wait, no! I'm not on mute. I'm not on mute.
Hoop was.
No, it was me.
Oh,
it was
Hoop.
me.
Oh. Yeah. Hashtag Hoop did it.
Yep. On the Aaron Jones call, I like that. I really like the Raiders stuff that we talked about with Devontae Adams. I think he's really low owned today. My guy Hunter, Darren Waller's another guy that I really, really like. And then the Chargers as well. Like I just for some reason think this game comes in lower than people think. So this might end up being one of my key games here. The Raiders and Chargers. Aaron Jones is a standout piece that we talked about. But one other thing I wanted to get into is the Wong teaser stuff. Big T. What are we looking at for that?
Usually I'm at home. I'm more dialed in. I actually haven't even put my own wagers in yet. So you're actually probably better this week to kind of pump them because I'm out of the flow a little bit on the road. I actually haven't put my own in yet.
The team that stands out, and I think you'll actually agree with this, is the Bengals. They're minus that 6.5, so it takes you down to them just winning. Do you like that or not?
That's the rules. We can't break the rules, Hoop. 6.5. Because you're losing. Well, I can just describe it real quick just for the people that haven't watched.
See, that's a good thing that I didn't go into my likes.
But so the problem with first of all, the Wong teasers, for those of you that haven't watched, 7.5 point favorites to 8.5 point favorites because you tease through the 7 and the 3 is the key part.
Yeah, okay.
Where when you're at 6.5, you're going down to a half, so you're wasting 2 points.
You're wasting points, yeah.
Which, I still love the Bengals though. So that's where it gets a little trickier. Where I still like it. It's just I wouldn't consider it a Wong, or it doesn't fall into the system fully.
So then you'd like maybe like the Packers then. Packers get you from 2 to 8.
Yeah, like I think those are the best ones. In games like that too, like where I like Minnesota, you can long tease the Packers up to 8.5 or 8, whatever you get, and then you can bet Minnesota on the money line. You got a nice little 8-point middle. Minnesota wins by less than 8. You're cooking in both directions for sure. As the season goes along too, I want to put something on the Run Pure page. We'll definitely get more involved with this as the year goes. I'm just out of the rotation a little bit.
Well, the Bengals are actually now up to 7.5. So the Bengals.
Then it's the nut spot up at 7.5.
On DK it's up to 7.5.
Yeah,
Okay,
I love that. Then
the Browns win total is 9.5. You guys had me thinking it was like that. I was just way
we're
off.
back to the
I'm
Browns.
going to go right into the DK app right after this show and pound the under on that bucket.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, you better do it now because the NFL season is finally upon us. Guys, we really appreciate you watching. Click the like button for God's sake. Get us up to 1,000 likes because if you don't, you guys got to deal with Holden next week. And let's be honest, Holden, I love you, but nobody wants to do that. Tony, Hoop, it's been a blast being back.
We
Guys.
got to
pick
our plays too,
and we got to pick that winner too for the
Oh
ticket.
yeah. Here,
We
I
need
don't
a
know.
name for Crane's play of the day. Like we need a name for it. Like
Chris Olave.
Well, we need the name for it though, not the player. You need a name for your damn play.
The
You're getting
windmill,
Russian here. We
the
need
windmill play of the day. What do you mean? It's
Well, we can do that. I like that.
yeah.
I'm gonna play Olave with you.
Yeah, dude, you need to be like Olave. Like he's gonna freaking crush it, man. Like Chris Olave this week is just such a good spot. And like there are gonna be weeks where the outside coverage is good, but the Falcons ain't it. Like so.
Yeah,
I like
I'm in with you.
All right, Hoop. Pick the winner, man? Like that was.
I'm picking my guy Junior for the 333 ticket. I mean, his favorite moment was I mean, you weren't with us, but last year, making fun of him for going to Hamilton. That was a good segment last year, and the chat verified it was AP. Remember, Tony? AP backed him up, saying that he likes going to live theater. If you recall.
I could actually. I could see AP doing that.
Or wait, did AP? Oh, didn't he watch the movie? Right? Didn't he watch the movie or something? And we got the name for Crane's play, the 37X play of the day.
That's such a good one.
37X play for sure.
Yeah, super easy, super easy. So yeah, it's this 37X play of the day, and I mean Chris Olave.
Chris Olave, yeah.
Olave.
I mean, I'll tell you what, he's gonna crush so much. You're gonna learn to pronounce his name.
It's got to be Olave. There's no way. Olave.
Oh man, the 37X play of the day. That's too good. That is too good, and it's definitely gonna screw me during NBA season because I'm gonna try and go for 37.
We need hoops play.
Yeah.
What's your play called? I always forget.
Rich parents play of the day. Remember they said that you have to have.
Of course.
Yeah. You got to be only.
Can't win without rich parents.
Yeah, you got to have rich parents to win at DFS. I'm going with. I mean, it's a relatively popular guy, but it doesn't matter. Week 1, Juju Smith-Schuster. Like I said, I think he crushes all season long. I think it starts today. I mean, just a perfect fit for the way that Mahomes has been playing the last couple of seasons with a lot of the short stuff. Give me Juju as the Week 1 rich parents play of the day.
All right, Tony, what's your play called? I don't know.
God, I'm drawing blanks at everyone. I don't even know what my own damn one's called. What's it? The workbench? Is that?
Yeah, it's the original. Remember 2 years ago?
I know. I got confused because AP had stole it for the golf week play, so I wasn't sure. I'm drawing a blank here. They got me drinking too much this weekend. But man, who do I go with? Should I go with Grampy for the Packers? I do kind of like him. I'm going with Randall Cobb, baby, right out of the gate.
I was gonna predict that too.
I'm going with the dude older than me as my workbench play of the week. Randall Cobb, baby.
How do you go with the Packers guy and not play Aaron Jones? Like, just pick Aaron Jones. Oh.
That's too easy. I don't want it easy. He's my favorite play. I already said my two favorites are like Aaron Jones and Jefferson, but it just so happens Randall Cobb kind of fits in that little game stack there.
Hoop, where are our likes at, man? Are we there?
Looks like you're out next week. It was a fun week 1.
It was a good run.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted.
It was a good run. The likes started going away as soon as Tony picked Randall Cobb.
Maybe we'll get some after the show, and you'll get a late boost.
Yeah, we can circle back. DC, I mean, which I do believe. He said he was in like 50 different accounts hitting the likes. Which
I mean, that's amazing.
I wouldn't put it past.
Because DC fucking hates me, so that's really incredible.
I'll tell you who we need on our side, Crane. Who we need on our side is Elena. Like she knows how to cheat the vote.
That's
we need
true,
Elena getting some damn votes in there for you.
Yeah.
There we go. We got it. I think isn't it Eliana?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would pronounce it Eliana, but
you're
talking to a guy that, you know, the first name he pronounced today was like slaughtered, Olive.
Yeah, that wasn't slaughter. Dude, they had me on the tennis show. And so I play a lot of DFS tennis, but I don't know how to pronounce any of those names.
Yeah,
so they're all like 17 syllables. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty fucked here. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have no idea how I'm going to talk. It's just is what it is. So guys, it's good to be back. And I'm showing up next week, whether they give us 1,000 likes or not. Give us 1,000 likes. Click the button. Little red button right there. Click it. Thank you. All right. We're going to get out of here, though. Tony, once again, buddy, congratulations on the FanDuel Championship. Nice little 495,000. You were so close to 500,000, but didn't quite get there. But you got that coming to your bank account, Hoop. Hopefully, we're going to have that ourselves coming after today. Big week of NFL season. What's the show up next? Somebody tell me who's up next.
Up to lock with JSU, Holden, Dunkel. I don't know who else is hopping on there, but Dunkel shipped college again yesterday. The freaking Tiger. But
I'm just glad to hear Holden landed on his feet. That's great. We got that coming up. Got that coming up next. It's been a lot of fun. I want to thank Simon for producing behind the scenes. For Tony, for Hoop, for Eliana, I'm Eric. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
The NFL is just a few short weeks away, and Rumpure Sports is gearing up for the season with the best deal in DFS.
For a limited time only, we are offering new members a 15% discount for the life of their subscription, including SaberSim subs. Simply use the promo code NFL15 when subscribing to take advantage of this great deal before our prices go up.
And at RPS, we don't just give you access to one sport. When you subscribe to our premium service, we give you access to all of our content, including NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, and so much more.
And we're not going to charge extra for access to our preseason content either. Our memberships include all of our content, including the NFL preseason. The best DFS players in the industry give you access to their core plays and slate strategies for every sport and for every slate. Simplify your lineup building process by plugging in picks directly from the top players in the world. Watch our premium live streams to gain a huge edge on the competition. Our guys are live up to lock for the biggest slates, walking you through their last-minute decisions, analyzing breaking news and injury alerts for the major sports.
Again, for a limited time only, you can access our industry-leading DFS content for 15% off our already low price. SaberSim packages are included, so sign up today using the promo code NFL15 for 15% off your subscription for life and start building winning lineups today.